to? Don't matter.
Why not? Never had too much break. City of Port Richey City Council meeting Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. I'd like to invite several leader fields to invocation remain standing.
Father, we just thank you again for the wisdom and for the council here, for the decisions and stuff that's coming up. We just ask you to bless us and help us to look forward to growing the city and watching redevelopment and development and everything we need to do to be a place where we build and work and live and play, and we get on the map with the waterfront and the boat arena and all these things. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll please.
Mayor John Eric Hoover,
Here.
Vice Mayor Chris Mayer,
Here.
Councilman Robert Hubbard,
Here.
Councilwoman Lisa Burke,
Here.
Councilwoman Christine Sullivan, here. City Attorney Nancy Meyer,
Here.
City Manager Andrew Butterfield.
Here. Thank you. Okay, first up, we got a boatload of minutes to approve, so go down each one of them. Look for motion to approve the July 29, 2025 City Council Budget Workshop minutes.
So moved.
Second. A motion second. All in favor, abstain, discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion to approve the August 12th, 2025 City Council meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve August 12th minutes.
There's okay. Motion a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, I need a motion to approve the August 26th, 2025 City Council meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the September 18th, 2025 City Council budget hearing minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, I need a motion to approve the September 23rd, 2025 City Council meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is comments from the general public. I do have one signed up, Linda Rodriguez. Welcome. Almost couldn't read your writing.
Linda Rodriguez, 5917 Lantern Court. I wrote it down so I didn't mess up. I'm here tonight because after watching the last council meeting, I feel compelled to share my disappointment at how a member of the audience, not a city resident any longer, was allowed to speak to a staff member and call for his termination without any respect to that staff member. The building official, Tony Bryan, is the person our city has employed via contract to keep our citizens safe in our personal homes and businesses. In my over 38 years of living here, I've had to use the city official business person from 38 years ago when I had a pool put in 8, 9, 10 times. I probably forgot some of them. I never had any problem with not one city official in the building department doing that. To my knowledge, the only person legally allowed to interpret building codes is our building official. Mr. Bryan has the following licenses and certifications. Again, to my knowledge, no one else has these qualifications. I did print up his CV. He has a building code inspector board. He's the building code administrator, standard inspector, building mechanical, plumbing, coastal 1 and 2, family. Family plans examiner, modular inspector, modular plans examiner, fire inspector 1, fire inspector 2, fire investigator 1, fire code specialist, mechanical code specialist, plumbing code specialist, building code specialist, electrical inspector, commercial combination inspector, commercial electrical inspector, plumbing code official, certified fire code official, fire inspector 1, fire inspector 2, fire plans examiner, plumbing inspector, housing code official, residential combination inspector, mechanical code official, commercial plumbing inspector, mechanical plans examiner, coastal and floodplain examiner, building inspector, plumbing plans examiner, building code official, certified building official, mechanical inspector, building plans examiner, and ICC/AACA property management and housing inspector. He's more than qualified to interpret our codes and keep our residents safe. And I don't think what happened last time was appropriate. We need to have a building official that is competent. It seems like he is. If some people don't like what he says, there's a reason for it, and he is the only one that is allowed to interpret it. We can have opinions, but our opinions don't count. He's the one that keeps us safe. So I just want to thank him for keeping us safe, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. I'll add a little bit to that. Just what obviously when Dave spoke, he gave his opinion, and everybody has 3 minutes to express their opinions or whatever. It really, when you're addressing council, you should be addressing council, not individual staff members. So very, very, very true statement. So that was a little unorthodox. It was a quick flippant phrase, and I think he went through some other things as well. That being said, we should always try to, when we do public comment, make sure you address the council. What did happen later on in that were the altercation, I'd say altercation, but potential altercation, that was totally out of line. And I didn't strike the gavel and was going to escort anybody out if that continued. That was definitely out of line. Obviously, public comment, there's going to be some opinions up there that may or may not be liked. Again, but that's just everybody's entitled to them, and that's their opportunity to express what they feel. So thanks for bringing that up, though. And by all means, Tony, as you well stated, is a very qualified individual. And I apologize that whole ordeal happened. It was unfortunate. And we hope to not continue to have those type of things. So, well said. That's the only sign up I have. Anybody else like to speak? Okay. I'm going to ask because so I have Tania Gorman here from the MPO. She's MPO director, and she has an update on the MPO merger that we're looking into, and she wanted to share that information. It was supposed to get on agenda, unfortunately did not. So if I could allow her some unlimited time on public comment just to go over that, would that be okay with council?
Yeah, we're great.
That we don't have to amend the agenda. We'll just extend her public comment because it's kind of a presentation like thing. So, perfect.
Hello, good afternoon. I was about to say good morning. We're not there anymore. So before I came here today to invite all of you to our principals workshop for our regional merger between Hillsborough, Pasco, and Pinellas. But before I get there, I kind of just wanted to give an overview. I know all of you don't sit on the MPO board. Mayor Hoover, he does. So I just wanted to give a high-level overview before I kind of jump into our principals workshop that'll be happening on November 17th. So just some background, as you all know, we've been talking about this for, 40 some odd years. Pasco, Pinellas, and Hillsborough MPOs merging. It has been a hot topic of choice, and it came up again in early of 2024 by the legislation. They asked us to get together and do a study and then send our legislative updates by that December of 2024. That is what we did. Within that update, within that study, we told the legislator that we would have a consultant work with us after we had turned in the study to actually move through some details on what an actual regional MPO merger would look like between the three counties. And so that is where we currently our energies are directed to. We have a consultant group right now with White House that is looking into the regional governance of how our MPO would look, our staff structure, just the operating procedures of a regional MPO. Well, you probably ask, why do you want a merged MPO? What are the benefits? Well, if we merge, right now, we're growing really fast. We're growing really rapidly in this area. I'm sure some of you are native Pasconians and you've watched this area change dramatically. I moved to Pasco officially in 2019, but I kind of spent most of my adult life in the Tampa Bay area. And I could say when I moved to Zephyr Hills, I thought I was going to live with the cows forever. And then something happened and everybody moved in and now I can't get down Chansey Road. So we definitely have a very strong population of growth. We know by 2035 we'll have almost 1 million people and residents in Pasco County. That is a lot of people we have to move. So here at the MPO, we're looking at how do we support this just regional transportation. Also will be considered with having one voice going up to the legislatures and to the state when it comes to looking at that discretionary funding that we talk so much about in the transportation network community. Also, we want to align with our mobility, our safety goals. These are all some of the pros of, being a part of a merged MPO. Well, what are some of the drawbacks? We know we have to talk about local representation, the cities, how and what that looks like. I know when we talked to our MPO board, they wanted at least one city representative in one of the seats rotating, so that way the cities had representation. There's also a million other ways to slice that. To get the MPO, the city's representation, but that's just one way. There can be subcommittees, there could be weighted seats, but we'll move through that more as we go through the talks with our consultant. And of course, being a part of a regional MPO, we're like, well, Pasco is the smallest, we're gonna get slighted. Of course, there's consternations, but there's ways to work through that. So we are looking at all different facets of the merger as we come, and we're going through this process now with the consultant. Currently, we also have some peer workshops that we're working through. There's 411 MPOs in the entire United States. Florida has 27 of them. Of course, we have the most of them. So out of all the states, 27, we have more MPOs than most. So hence probably why another merger, right, to kind of condense some of those MPOs. But the MPOs serve a very pivotal purpose, which is getting that federal funding down to our cities and our counties. So right now we talked to River to Cog MPO in Connecticut. We talked to Hampton Roads MPO in Virginia and Rio Grande MPO in Texas. And why that FHWA peer support group was very important was at the ability for us to talk to another MPO that actually went through a merger and have those discussions with them, which was really amazing. And we're going to actually sit again on the 14th of November and actually have further discussion, kind of get into the nitty gritty and some of those more complex conversations. We also have a trip planned to Metro Plan Orlando. If you guys have not heard, if you all have not heard, as city council members, we are going to Metro Plan to experience what a Florida merged MPO is like. So that MPO covers Osceola, Orange, and Seminole County, and we are traveling there on October 27th to really see what balanced board representation looks like. I know Gary Hutman is a colleague. We talk often through other forms of the regional network we do outside of the Tampa Bay area, but it's also for the two boards to meet and have conversation as well. And then we have, lastly, which I'll be inviting you to here, is our November 17th Principals Workshop, where we want to have all elected officials, stakeholders, city officials, staff come out and give their input on the regional merger and how you think it will help advance Port Richey and Pasco County. So with that being said, we have a lot going on with the MPOs right now, lots of regional work. Can I say if it's going to happen or not? Not at this moment, but we are looking and following through these processes to see if we can have a regional MPO. Thank you. Questions, comments?
Just to let you guys know, so is it still 25 seats that they're proposing for the
Correct.
merged?
So 25, right now, we left it at 25 seats on a governing board.
And so the challenge is I think Pasco's apportionment is 4 or 5.
Right now, it's between 3 and 4 seats.
4 max. So you can see by merging, Pasco's voice really diminishes. However, there's like she mentioned, the advantage is you can compete for much larger pots of money as a larger MPO, and so and of course they've assured us that that won't hurt what Pasco gets, but that is a concern, obviously, because our representation will be small. And then if you take the cities in Pasco, it's even less, right? So we've got to work through how that structure would best fit, and if we decide to do that, obviously. But
it seems like that would 3 seats up all those.
Yeah.
It's not much.
And I think Hillsborough was the largest apportionment, which
Hillsborough is the largest apportionment. Oh, I think they left off with, was it 5 seats or 6 seats? And I think Fort Pinellas had 5.
okay.
Oh, Yes, so they would have the larger portion because they have the largest city. But keep in mind when we're talking about city representation, there's many ways to represent the cities. Metro Plan, who has 3 counties, they have subcommittees to represent the cities. Then the cities go to the board. We can do it where we have rotating seats for each city in Pasco. So there's different ways to kind of do this. I think the main idea is to focus on when the federal government's looking down and looking at the distribution of discretionary grants, they're looking at, okay, what's the size of each of these MPOs? Right now, we're sized next to like a city or state in Arkansas. We're looking like cities in Arkansas, major cities. That's not kind of big enough when those discretionary pots, they're looking down and they're like, hey, we want to let's go over here and give it to Seattle or Boston.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
Merge together, that's how big we'll be. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of area and the width and the population that you're seeking when we're looking at these federal funds. Our planning grant funds will not change as it's allocated by population. But remember, we're getting ready to do our apportionment, which goes with each decennial census in 2030. And we're already in 2025. So we're already on the race right now to do the apportionment. And we're already at right now about 700,000. We'll be close to roughly about 7 or even over that 800,000 people. So that changes board composition. So there's a lot of different nuances to look at as we go through this. That's why I'm urging everyone to come to the principals workshop and have these discussions and really work out some of this, because Pinellas is in a same boat. They have, I think 27 cities. So, they're definitely feeling some of that pressure there when it comes to like, how do we have city representation, especially city of St. Pete, Clearwater, Largo. Those are some of their bigger cities, right? We're not even talking about the smaller cities or the beach cities. So it's definitely a lot to work through, but we are up for the challenge. This is the farthest we've ever gotten. I think it's history in the making at this point, because we've always talked about a regional merger, but we've never moved on it. So we're definitely learning as we go. We're trying not to make any critical or, horrible mistakes, but we are working together the best that we can and how we know to. So,
Yeah. And so also on the even in our current structure, so there's a 9-member board. There's 4 cities. It's Port Richey, Zephyr Hills, Dade City. So those 4 individuals, and our vote counts as 1. The commissioners that sit on the board, 5, their vote counts as 2. So even if all the cities banded together and voted on something, that gives them 4 against the 10.
with the current board,
Right.
board, yeah.
Unless all the commissioners don't show up, the cities don't really have a voice anyway. We're on the board and we have a voice, but when it comes to voting power,
Yeah,
it's
but
really,
it'd be even a
worse,
bigger
right?
extreme. And what's the guarantee that it's all going to Hillsborough and all going to Pinellas,
right.
and then Pasco gets us, and then to try to portion that out?
Yeah,
It seems like too thin.
Yeah, it's a challenge. So it's like I said, we
All the money going to Pinellas or Hillsborough? Yeah, no. So with every MPO, the money's apportioned by the actual population. And then we, as the MPO, then take our current governing documents by federal, and then we merge them all together and make one prioritization process, one long-range transportation plan, one list of priority projects. So that's how we would merge it all together. So then the governance would be coming from the board. So there can be allies, everybody can work, separately, but that's kind of how it would go. So there's that fairness piece. It can't just be one taking all of the pot, because we have federally mandated regulations. That's how the MPOs function. And then we pass by way through the state, and then we come down to the local governments. So we essentially have 3 bosses every day the MPO reports through to. It's a good time.
and we've got a real project in the game here. I think it's still number 6 on our unfunded list.
Correct.
The underpass.
Underpass.
So it's in right-of-way study now to see what we need to acquire from right-of-way. But that's something that the MPO would potentially fund.
Correct.
And so, we would look, if we were to merge, what would be the quickest time frame you think after all? I mean, we still probably a couple of years out from a merger, right? Is that?
Correct. It's supposed to be July 1st, 2027, but that's actually the actual vote. Then, subsequently thereafter, it takes really a few years to get
Right.
everything kind of flushed through if we were to do that. But it takes quite a bit of time. But July 1st was what we told the legislation that we were going to work within that time frame. So it didn't drag on and on like it's been for 40 some odd years. The decision has never been made. I think that's the problem. So now we're here to say, at least we did the study, at least we did the work. Where we go from here, okay, that has to be on the county commissioners and the MPO board. But at least we can say we did everything in our absolute power to make sure we had the informed information for our elected officials and our stakeholders.
So I also encourage you all to attend this and voice your opinions for sure. Honestly, as I'm involved in it, I'll voice that as well. So
100%. I think so. And even if you wanted to write a letter or send some type of, SOS bird, you could send it to me and I'll take it on. I don't mind. But of course, we encourage you to come and interact and engage. So, all right.
any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tani's doing a great job for us over to MPO. Appreciate you. I was not paid to say that either. That was true from my heart. Okay. Okay, no more public comment, correct? And we got everybody. Good. Next up, comments from the city manager. Pass to Mr. Butterfield for his comments.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council approved a budget for us. We're 2 weeks into the new fiscal year today, and we are taking it as gospel that it's a plan you want us to execute. So we are really off and running with putting out RFPs and RFQs and trying to get things done during this fiscal year that you can see, that the public will be able to see the results of. So on top of that, we are transitioning to ADP, modernizing some of our finance systems. So a lot of stuff going on, kind of a generational change in some things that we needed to modernize. So we're taking the mandate from the governor to Doge. We're taking it very seriously, and we're trying to execute the funds that have been appropriated by the council. So thank you for that. On a personal note, I'm going to have to miss probably the next 2 meetings, so my apologies up front. Just a reminder to the public that because the federal holiday for Veterans Day is Tuesday, November 11th, we've moved council meeting that day to November 12th. So for your calendars. And then on the 11th, there's some local community group is having a Veterans Day appreciation, and they're going to hold that at the firehouse. So since they know they can catch the firehouse open 24/7, whereas City Hall will be closed. So I believe there will be donuts, and I encourage people to come say thanks to the firefighters.
Somebody say donuts.
I said it, now I gotta be sure to have donuts. Anyway, we've got a packed schedule, so I will stop now, but looking forward to getting a lot done tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is comments from boards and committees. I believe CAC's got an update. Is it?
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. So Linda, in case y'all didn't see, Linda's been promoted, I guess, as the new chair of the CAC. So
Really?
Back in the hot seat.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Well, the one big thing is we've been talking for a long time about the mural in Olsner Park. Cherokee was kind enough to do a sketch for us, but as some of you, maybe all of you know, that she's moved out of state. We have the preliminary sketch of that. After the meeting, I was contacted. We do have an artist that I am going to contact. I contacted him. We've been playing phone tag or text tag, We're going to see how that goes. But my main question is, I'm going to make a really good assumption that y'all want to see what we come up with and approve that and add, delete, correct? Okay, because that was a question.
I think you guys agree with that?
Yeah, that was one of the biggest questions. Were we just going to do it, or we needed your approval? And I kind of thought that would be the best thing to do, is get your approval. So that will be coming to you. I'm going to take the one that Cherokee did. I'm going to try to do it in a bigger form to the best of my ability. And then I'll get that artist form and we'll kind of bring that into you guys so you can all see that and we can add and delete and put it on that wall. Andy is kind enough to have that. It's already pressure washed and painted. We might have to pressure wash by the time we get done with it.
As fast as mold grows, yeah.
But with that, we're moving forward with that project. We've got people that are going to donate paint. I know we have a budget for it as well, so we'll keep you updated on that project. We're going to do a meet your neighbor again. We don't have the exact date and time. We'll get that out to you when we get the details. What else? Did I forget anything else, Christine?
The Veterans Day
The
celebration.
things you just mentioned that. Mm-hmm.
They mentioned that on the 11th.
Yeah.
Firehouse, 8:30.
8:30 to 11:30, I think, right?
Some coffee.
On was the logo incorporated in that mural?
Yes, thank you. We had talked about that, and she had put this on there, and it was really looked nice. But as I'm looking at your rebranding, and we talked about doing this and seeing if we could get something similar to what the size back there, so that it's not painted, like, I don't know, wood, metal, something with the city logo, and put that in the middle. We could try to paint it too, but I don't know how good that would do. But that will be the centerpiece, whether it be this or the logo you all come up with for the rebranding. We're gonna try to do that in the middle.
Yeah, because you can always leave a placeholder if it needs to get painted or whatever, and to come back and do that logo or something.
Just leave a spot for it.
Or we can do something cursory, and then when you guys get something official, and if you come up with something like metal or wood or something, we can just stick it over it as,
Right.
whatever you all want to do to it. But that was kind of what we wanted to make the centerpiece is the logo.
You could almost use a piece of metal
That's what I was thinking, Chris.
and put vinyl on it.
Yeah.
And, 5 years or 7 years from now, when it's
Replace it,
painted,
yeah.
just pull the vinyl off, put another one on it. And that's what we do. We use vinyl all the time. It only has about a 7-year
Yeah.
shelf life.
Is there I know there's some history timeline stuff in there, or I can't remember. I wonder with the logo, just an idea, if maybe we could put all our old logos along there too in a timeline, smaller,
Good idea.
something like that, just to kind of capture that.
I think for branding purposes, you probably don't want to drag in the old.
Some of the things they thought of was doing a stilt house, which is all over. Doing like a Indian, like a native Indian, the shrimp boat. What were some of the other things on? I didn't bring it with me, unfortunately. Just a palm tree, the pelican,
Pelicans, yeah.
the palm tree.
Dolphins.
We didn't know. I didn't do a totem pole. We didn't think about that.
Oh, okay. I thought that what you were referring to.
Lori has printed out a whole bunch of photos and given them to me so that we can try to see, and I'll give them to the artist
That's cool.
to see if he can, incorporate that, if he chooses to do it. If not, we'll figure it out.
Somebody brought up about maybe painting Johnny Cash on there, kind of
We
silhouette.
can put pictures of him. We got pictures of him and Billy Graham. Put them in there. And the history of the stilt houses on a
Yeah.
plaque in there and all that stuff. Absolutely.
No, exciting project. Look forward to seeing that.
So we'll get that to you. It's upcoming, hopefully. Lori wanted to start painting next month, but that's not going to happen. It's just,
Yeah, we had the 15th and 16th and the 22nd, 23rd, but
it's not going to happen. It's too soon, unfortunately, because we want to do it right. We want to do it right the first time. We want to make sure it's nice. It's not thrown up there like crazy person, so. But if you have any other suggestions, ideas, get it to Ash. She can get it to me. We'll try to incorporate it in there. This is a fluid project and it's not set in stone. We'd like to just make it really, really nice.
That sounds good.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other boards, committees?
Wasn't there somebody new just got them recently?
yeah, Rob Kenworthy.
Yeah, I'm gonna address that now, actually. So I'll give you the my board committee. So obviously the event committee meets Thursday, so we haven't met since last meeting. But I sit on the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council, and we had a meeting yesterday. And just to let you all know, so there wasn't anything brought up that was pertinent to us in that meeting. However, the Tampa Bay Regional Resiliency Coalition Steering Committee meets directly after that. And I was fortunate enough that Pete Altman, the chair, he recommended that I be appointed to that steering committee because there's 2 openings on that. And so that was appointed by the chair yesterday. So I'm actually on that committee as well. And there was something I think good that was talked about there is when they had their working group updates. One of the working groups is resilient stormwater and infrastructure. Megan Blanchard headed that up, and there is actually a meeting tomorrow, and I let Andy know to see if I think Derek is confirmed to be on that, and hopefully Daryl can too. They're actually going to be talking about the 48 acre McDill 48 Park, it's called, and they did a big thing in Tampa to stormwater can drain a pond. They created it so it's a nice place to visit or whatever, and they're kind of going over that and talking about how they accomplished that. And I think it'd be some good things that we could look at from our stormwater to be able to do something like that, create a pond somewhere or whatever to help prevent flooding and whatnot. But this sounded like a good project that we should at least listen in on. And I'm going to try to join as well. But anyway, that's something that is going on tomorrow. So I thought I'd bring that back. So I'll say, Daryl, was he able to commit to?
Derek's been a long-standing member of that committee. He was already scheduled, and I haven't confirmed yet on my email.
Okay.
Daryl.
Well, if he could join too, like I said, but it's, I don't know if they're recorded or not, but obviously share that
I
information.
think they do record pretty much everything they do. So, but try to get him on there live too.
Okay. And that's all I had for that. Rob Kenworthy was at the CAC meeting, and he's also submitted his interest in joining that committee. And so I'd like to go ahead and action him if you guys could pass a motion along to accept Robert Kenworthy to the CAC.
Motion to approve Rob Kenworthy to the CAC.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put to the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And there was a change too on Seth resigned, I believe. Is that Seth Cap resigned from this committee? So now you're with Rob. You'll be 5 strong. Okay. And speaking of the devil, there he is.
I didn't call you a devil, Rob.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Just for Rob's edification, we have a motion on the floor to accept you to the CAC committee, and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So welcome to CAC.
The gloves are in the closet.
Would you like to say a few words?
I got donuts.
That's why we put you on.
Donuts already dedicated for the veterans November 11th. So they're homemade donuts, they're not store bought. So these are going to be really good.
You make them?
Ha ha.
Didn't know you were a donut man.
But yeah, so we'll have at least 4 dozen donuts. I don't know about the coffee. Someone else is going to have to figure that one out. I just want to thank you for accepting me there, and I'm hoping we keep advancing the city the way it's going. I'm thrilled about it. I'm trying to maybe do it in a positive manner. The negativity, as you know, I don't like the negativity. There's too much of it. So if I could be a positive part of it and actually get out there and convince some of these people, and I did talk to a few people. I'm surprised they're not here today, but maybe next time.
You didn't tell them about the chairs, I guess.
No, that chair's got to go. That's the squeaky chair right there. I found it out last week.
Bob's chair squeaky.
So yeah, no, not that one.
You're up here, that's why.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, and thank you. And I'll see what we can do. Hopefully, we can make something happen. We have to do slow and easy. Make sure, like you said, get it right. Get it right. I might even have someone to help with that alternate part also. Awesome. So we'll see.
Thank you for your service. And
thank you very much.
Looking forward to your input.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
He timed that on purpose.
And that was
Right.
impeccable timing.
You've been sitting out there waiting, yeah.
Actually, I'll bring it up now. I was going to my comments, but since it's a long line of boards committees, we have a acceptable amount of folks on the historical preservation, I believe. You, Betha, and is there a third? Is there only 2?
No, we only have 2. Yeah. No, we have a.
Which is a quorum,
Wait.
I think, because
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you have Kim.
Yeah, that's right. We do have Kim now.
yeah, Kim as well. So we have 3, which is the bare minimum we need to meet. So I know there's been any meeting. So if you guys could maybe try to get together and have an organizational meeting and.
Yeah, after the submissions, which is on your next agenda, to realign the boards and committee members, I will be scheduling
Okay.
readjustments for everybody.
Yeah, 'cause I know Beva. Is it Beva? Is that her name? I think.
Beva, Steve.
Yeah, Beva. She's actually very active in Newport Richey, and she's excited about the committee as well, and she about history. So I'd like to at least get her
Yep,
a meeting.
I'll be doing that
So,
as soon as council reorganizes everybody.
And I think she probably could convince a couple more folks to.
Those letters are coming out, right?
The letters were already sent to all the boards and committees. I had given everybody a deadline, and that agenda item will be on your next council to approve that list of everybody who's responded to me.
Great.
Okay.
That's good.
Cool. Okay. Next up, any other boards and committees? Okay. Oh, Jetson.
I just spoke to the volunteers. They're going to purchase the coffee and bagels for you guys.
We got $4,000. So.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great.
Do you need tables and stuff, or you got a lot?
I got all of that.
Okay, cool. Okay, next up is our consent agenda. Item number 2, 10, 14, 25 consent agenda. Looking for motion and discussion. I do have some discussion, so let me just start, I guess. So there was, let's start with this. There's 2 Florida League of Cities bond principal payments, and it looks like one of them was not budgeted appropriately for. So if you could explain that.
Yeah, so we pay a $26,000 interest payment. Sorry. Yeah, so we pay a $26,000 interest payment in April, and then we pay $130,000 plus some little admin fees in September. But this year, the board convened and we pay 2 $26,000 interest payments now because of the way the way it was.
The FLC board, you said?
Yeah. So we pay $26,000 in April, and we also pay the principal plus the admin fees, and then another $26,000, which I think is going to be a little lower next year. So, yeah.
And what's that bond for?
That's a utility bond they took out several years ago. I think it started out about $3 million. It's now 1.6, and they actually converted into it was a 2008 bond. They converted into a 2016 bond. So they basically just refinanced it several years ago, and that's what we're paying on right now is the refinance portion of it.
And so this was new this year? This
Yes.
double payment?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's because of the refinance?
Well, it was kind of like a balloon thing that went up.
So going forward, we're still going to have double?
Yes, because I paid the original $130 plus the admin fees, and then they called me and was like, "Hey, you're $26,000 short." I don't see that in our schedule anywhere, but he did send me some paperwork that says that it is due. So every year now we're going to pay 2 interest payments, about $52,000.
So I'm not understanding
Where's
that.
the original note? So we understand what we owe.
Well, that's the thing. The original note doesn't say that. It says 56,000 or 26,000, and then it says 130,000. But they sent me some paperwork, which I'll get to the board if they want, that we owe the 2 interest payments. So I pay an interest payment plus the principal and the fees in September. I didn't do that last year. I followed the schedule that was given to us, but there's. But this year they sent me another invoice for $26,000.
Sounds like you missed it last year, and they said, "Hey, you missed it last year. You owe us this year's and last year's."
No, we paid last year.
You just got done telling me you didn't pay last year.
The
No, you see the second part. I paid the 26.
You only paid 26.
Right.
So I guess I'm trying to understand how a bond we took out also and refinance, and all of a sudden our interest cost doubles. Doesn't make any
I agree.
sense.
Again, last year it was paid before I got here, and then I paid the $130,000 payment. And then this year they said that we owe $26,000 in April, and then $26,000 again in September.
Okay, and maybe there's something's getting lost in the explanation or something. Can we look into that for sure?
I'll send you what they sent me.
I'm as perplexed as you. I've not heard about it.
I was perplexed too because it's not in our schedule of payments. Our schedule of payments is 26 in April and 26, and then the principal payment of 130 plus the admin fee.
Did our term change in that refinance?
That refinance was years ago. So
So the refinance is not what triggered this. It just
not that I can see, but it's kind of like a balloon is what he was trying to explain to me. But again, he sent me what he did. I don't
balloon would be
understand
one time type of payment,
Correct.
not
But we didn't do that last year. I don't know if this is just a this year thing. But
Yeah, if we could,
Yeah.
should, when's this due, I guess?
I would say it would also help if our auditor would finish our audit, but we have done everything except fly to New York and pound on their door.
Yeah.
If we pull the additional interest payment off the consent agenda for now, does that cause any issue?
It doesn't cost. Well, we already paid it. So
You've already paid the $2,000?
We had to. I mean, we're bound by our contract to pay it. By the time that's when I paid it, I held off on it. I didn't want to pay it.
So again, that's a $26,000 change that we didn't have any input into.
Correct. Again, last year I followed the schedule. The $26,000 payment was made in April. In September, I made the $100,000. One of the problems was there was the $100,000 payment. If you go back, has never been budgeted for. So it was never inside of our budget. We just made that payment without it. So last year I made that payment. I went to Matt and I said, "Hey, this I think it was $136,000 last year." He said, "Pay it," because it wasn't budgeted, so we paid it. I budgeted this year, but I budgeted per the schedule, which was $26,000 in interest and $130 plus the fees this year. But when I sent that over, when I sent it over, they called me back and said, "Hey, you owe us another $26,000."
And that was when?
That was September, a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
because this is the second time that something's got paid on a consent agenda that we haven't provided consent for. Obviously, I don't want to make a habit of that. If we have to, and I don't know if procedure-wise, if it gets to that we should convene a special meeting to entertain that cost. But as a consent agenda, none of this should be paid until it goes through council.
Well, everything on consent agenda is paid, and there's a statute in there that says that I'm required to pay it if it's due. So with that, I mean that was due. We're bound, but they have a board that convenes every month, and they send us our things. So they're the ones that convene and say, "Hey, you still owe us $26,000." And they send me the paperwork. It's not on my schedule. I paid it because we'd be in default if I hadn't.
So, what if somebody could explain to me what the purpose of this consent agenda is?
Well, exactly. And someone did this several years ago and just passed the buck to us.
Oh, you got some comments on it too? Or?
I'm making notes on it to do some research.
Yeah.
on
Yeah, we
this.
don't need
It's not
consent.
making any sense.
I mean, I know the purpose of consent agenda is
Right.
regular reoccurring items that are just part of, the electric
Right.
bill and all these things or whatever that we need to approve. We approve, but we definitely shouldn't have $26,000 surprises on there that.
I mean, in any company in America, nobody goes writing these big checks without talking to the boss first. And at this point here, we've been entrusted to receive these things. There was never an opportunity.
Well, the problem is the bosses change over the years, and
No, but they're all sitting here. We get
no,
emergency
not the
meetings.
people that made the deal.
What's that?
Not the people that made the deal.
Well, and so
Adam's saying he doesn't understand why it just popped out of nowhere. Is that right, Adam?
That's correct.
I mean, our city manager can only stroke a
So-
10,000 or less check.
But my point to that is
Right.
when Adam says he doesn't understand what happened, and
We
he's
need to
just like,
find out.
"Oh, I got to write a check for 26 grand." I don't want to lay pressure on Adam. I want him to shift gears immediately to us and say, "Hey, I don't know what this is. Nancy, look into it, and then we
Yeah.
make a decision based on it."
But Matt said, "Go ahead and do it."
Well, that was last year's payment. This year's payment, again, we would be in default. And again, our contract and our bond is based off of a board. So right now we are kind of in what they call a minor default because we haven't had our audit back yet. I go before them, I call them, and I ask for an extension on that every year. This, if you don't make your payment, you're there. We have money set aside as a kind of like a deposit. They pull that deposit from us, which is a lot of money. So I had to pay it, or else we would be in default, and they would pull our deposit money. So we're required to pay it. I mean, they sent me the paperwork on it, and they sent me an invoice on it, so we're required to pay it. If I'd have waited until today, we'd be in default, and we'd lose it anyway.
And by all means, we need to pay our bills on time, and we don't cause any more issues. But it's just in general, obviously, we want to try to have more notice in this so we can actually say, "Hey, Nancy, can you look at this?" And so we don't want to get a habit of.
I've been researching it as well. Again, I do know that there's two different things. There's still that 2008. There's a recurring payment from that where we rolled it into something else that we dealt with when we were working on the audit stuff. So it could be a fluctuation from that. Again, the thing they sent me is like this thick. I haven't been able to go through it 100% myself. I was flipping through it to kind of see our schedule. The schedule is the schedule I have. which is where I budget the $26,000 and $130,000 principal payment. But again, this year, I made that payment. When he asked me for the $26,000 again, I showed him where I wired the $26,000 in April, and he said, no, you're required to send us another $26,000 for interest on the principal of it this time too, and he sent me another invoice.
And did you ask him why?
I did. That's why he sent me that book over. And I have not yet looked at, but I didn't want to be in default because it would have ruined our
Understood.
credit.
Understood. Well, so let's say there's something hokey going on here that shouldn't be happening. Again, I can't imagine that'd be the case. It's just very odd. It's probably just an explanation that we're not
I'm
understanding.
hoping the pile of paper, the stack of paperwork explains something.
That being said, if we approve as is, does that bind us to?
Well, no, I mean, it's already been paid, right? So you're approving what's been done. If there is some issue, let's just say we look through the paperwork and say we disagree, we shouldn't have paid this extra. They're not going to give it back. They're probably going to hold it and they'll apply it towards your next payment anyway, right? And that would be I would assume the result they would want. So I think just you approve it with the direction that we look into why all of a sudden you have an additional payment, so we have an understanding moving forward. And if we don't think there's an additional payment, we will let you know that and address that with.
Well, I guess we don't. By approving it the way it is, we're not basically agreeing to it. Just
you've noted
No,
your
if there's
objection.
something flagrant with it, we'll get our money back or we'll get some kind of credit. We'll work on that. And we are working on it. Like I said, it's a thing. I wasn't here when they I wasn't here with that. All I have is the notes that was left by the consultants that were here before me on paying that. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I didn't want to go some default, so I went ahead and paid it. And
no,
that's figured out.
Yeah,
So we're just saying, we see you spent that, okay.
You're approving what he's done and given directions.
We're going to look into it.
Figured out. That doesn't make sense.
Because we want to understand why we had to do that, and especially if it's got to be year over year. Because I'm assuming when this is we're $26,000 shy on our budget this year too, right? Going forward.
Yeah, because I didn't budget for it. Because
Exactly.
our schedule.
So there's a gap for next year.
We'll figure it out. We'll report back.
Okay, good.
I think they owe us a schedule of whatever their schedule of payments is that they're working off of. They owe us a copy.
Well, what I have, and what I go by,
It might be in the
and
book.
what the auditor has. I send that to the auditor, and that's what they audit us on that part of it. And again, it's not it's not in there. So like when I budgeted last year, me and Matt talked about it, and then we budgeted this year. I went by the schedule that they say of payments.
Okay, so, we're good.
But if this is an overpayment, we'll definitely get our money back.
Okay.
And we'll fix it from there.
Perfect. The other item I was curious about was the red light. There's 3 payments on here, but yet the year to date doesn't change for any of them. So I'm assuming that those were all.
Yes.
So the year to date is prior.
Yes, those are payments that were made, and then I pulled the year to date on it. So all those. So what you see as the year to date is after those payments have been made.
So the remaining budget is after. That's 143, all 3 of them. So that's after all 3 have been calculated.
Correct. And it's weird to do it that way because we pay it every week. So we pay it on a weekly basis. So by the time I get it to you and we do those thing, it's always going to be like that.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I have. Any other questions? I need a motion to approve.
There you go.
Okay. The motion, is there a second?
Second.
Now they're coming out of the woodwork. So I think I'm gonna give it to Christine. She was a tad bit ahead. Any public comment? Seeing none, I put the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Sometimes you gotta have a little fun with your consent agenda. That's just, that's right. Next up is council business. Item number 3, surplus of impounded vehicles. I'll pass that to Mr. Butterfield for introduction.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Just a routine release of vehicles, and I think Chief's got some data. I don't think we have the data yet on the last that the council had requested results of our sales, but there's a lag. So hopefully next month we'll have a report on that. But this is on the ones going outbound.
We're working on trying to get several months worth of data rather than just 1 month, because you could have like nothing but scooters 1 month and show major losses compared to good cars another month. So I'm trying to get back to June And then we didn't want to mess with finance because they're doing the budget and then doing this new payroll project. So it'll probably be around the first of the year when we'll be able to give you a good spreadsheet of numbers of what we're doing and how this impound lot is doing.
Also, you wanted to give us a 3 or 4 rolling month average. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I want to give you sort of almost the whole second part of the 2025. If I can get from June to December, and then I'll give you a good month by month of what's going on and how much it's costing us and how much we're making on it and all that.
I don't want to create a whole other job for you. Chief.
No, we don't. It's a lot of it's finance, though, and I didn't want to burden them with everything else going on at the end of the fiscal year. So we're just kind of waiting until that all settles down.
On these ones that are way past the 90 days, I guess they weren't worked out, I guess.
I can't tell you before I got here, but there's cars that have been back there for years, and I told her I want them all out of there by 1st of January.
So you're trying to
get
through
to
the
clean it
backlog
up and get everything smooth out so we can figure out where we're at and what we're doing here.
We do this every month, so I don't know why there's.
Well, I mean, here you take 5 off and we get 10 on.
Yeah.
And then we got it to starts
Don't they
all
give
over.
you checks? Don't they mail you a check for this stuff?
There should, but the checks don't go to the police department; they go to finance. So
And you're afraid to ask them for stuff that's going to them?
No, I don't want to bother them when they're doing this payroll turnover and the budget and everything else that's going on.
I mean, I would be happy with a snapshot. 5 vehicles that went out there. Here's what they brought.
That's what we're trying to do. But I'm trying to go back from the 5 that we sent in June, and then the 8 we sent in July, and then the 8 we sent in August, and have it like that for you, so it's broken down so you can actually see. Because like even on here with these scooters, we're going to take a loss on it. Nobody gets those from the auction. Nobody buys them from the auction. We end up owing money at the end of the day on these things.
So you don't want to show me a losing game. It's like, he's like, Chris, we're trying to get one good one in there
I didn't know
to
you could
make
dance.
up for the $3,000 we lose every time we come out here and pick up these scooters.
You're a pretty good dancer over there. I didn't know you could dance.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. You're going to show red
But then we
someone.
got to figure out a better way to dispose of.
Yes, and
What
we're
it-
looking
That's
at
all.
it.
We're looking at.
Yeah, we're in conversation about
Yeah,
that.
we don't want to lose money on these for sure.
Because I've been down this road before. I've seen that, and all of a sudden you're like spending more to dispose of somebody else's scooter,
Right.
So
So he'll get his 6 month of information, and we might be bringing you some different alternatives.
I'm agreeing to all the grace.
That was a good job, though, Chief.
Does Chris want to make a motion?
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to surplus 5 impounded vehicles and be sent to the Royal Auction Group for auction.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put a vote all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is item number 4, Axon Officer Safety Package, Year 1. Pass it to Mr. Butterfield for introduction.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. You heard about this earlier this summer while we were putting the budget together. It's a transformational change for the police force, and this is year 1 of a 10-year contract that Chief let us do. Part of it is sole source. Part of the equipment could go with other companies, but not work uniformly with the sole source products we needed. So. And it started off as, I think you were going to do a leapfrog, Chief, but you ended up negotiating better than the leapfrog prices. So it's a great system that's going to increase our efficiency in policing. And the first year budget it's like $99,000 and some dollars, just under $100,000. And by having a 10-year commitment, there's upgrades to the equipment every couple of years. And some new stuff. Over to you, Chief, if you want to give it a little
Yeah,
more
by doing it
detail.
that way, we know exactly how much it's going to cost every year, rather than every year a cost comes up and we don't even know what it's going to be. This locks us in, so we know exactly what we're going to pay, and we were able to negotiate it down. The first year when they first gave it to me, just for a 1-year deal, was almost $200,000, and I was able to negotiate over several months to get it down to $99,000. And then you can see over 10 years, it doesn't go up more than $35,000. And we talked with finance about that and where we're going to get the extra money from in our $5 fund. So it is next level. It's going to be the best opportunity for the best department to do technology wise will be the front runners in Pasco for right now. Newport Richey is getting ready to go to this probably after the first of the year. And Zephyr Hills and Dade City have already signed contracts, but they haven't gotten their new equipment. So this contract will also give us new equipment every 2.5 years. We'll get brand new body cams with all the latest and greatest toys and tricks on them. And then we'll also get new in-car cameras every 5 years. Our in-car cameras that we have now are at the end of life, and we don't even have body cams. It also gives us brand new tasers. The tasers we have now are also end-of-life tasers. They don't even support them anymore. So it brings us up to grade on that. It gives us, which you'll love, is the Axon AI portion for our report writing capabilities. And it actually looks at what you're watching on your body cam and tries to translate what your report's going to say and almost writes your reports for you. And then all you have to do is go in there and fine tune it and make sure it's correct to what it has. It also transcribes. So if I'm talking to somebody saying Spanish and I don't speak Spanish, I could push a button, it'll transcribe it for me right then and there. It'll tell me what they're saying. Plus, it'll also tell them what I'm saying when I'm speaking in English. They'll hear it in Spanish, and then it'll transcribe it into my report. So I don't have to sit there and retype all that stuff, and it'll save a tremendous amount of time. So they won't be back there on the computers. They'll be out there in the streets fighting crime.
Sounds like it's going to save you money and manpower as well.
Absolutely. And, we'll be coming forward with you in a couple weeks about the drones. And this system integrates with these drones perfectly. And it could literally find, if we launch the drone, it'll find where our body cams are. And it's such an amazing product. It's crazy.
Did the drone see any infrared stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you had somebody who was running from you that had robbed a bank or something, you could literally chase them with the drone, see them hiding in the woods.
You could, depending on the woods. Now, if the woods are really thick, sometimes it's hard to get down there, but it will show us where the officer's at. We could set up perimeter so we know where we have those woods corned off to where they can't get out of that area.
Right, or if an officer trips and falls and hurts himself, the drone can find him.
Yes, and this system here is so state of the art where, God forbid, one of my officers goes to an active assailant call and we run in because we don't wait for anybody else, and they actually end up getting shot or killed. We can activate that body cam and see what's going on so the next person doesn't run into the ambush also. And that's one of the biggest safety concerns with this officer safety package.
Wow. As I read, there's a lot of really cool technology stuff that's built into this package. So I was curious. It's like we came from Tarpon. Did Tarpon have the same system?
No.
Newport Richey, Pasco. Is this going to be like
Pasco? Like I say, when we get it, us and Newport Richey will probably be getting it after the first of the year because it's on their agenda in 2 weeks. We'll be state of the art, but everybody else will catch up in the next 2.5 years when they get their newer equipment because they've all signed 10-year contracts. Tarpon was on the same system we're on for our in-cars now, and they chose to stay with that with their body cams, which is Motorola, and they just got hit with almost a $500,000 increase in their cloud storage for that. Wow. And I gave them this and I showed them what it was, and it's like, that's where the big cost is with the cloud storage.
This includes our cloud storage?
Yes, it's unlimited data for the whole 10 years.
And they can't jack it up, or they can't charge more?
And that's what happened with Pasco Sheriff's Office several years ago when they first started this system, going back probably about 10 years. After their 3-year contract was up, their cost went through the roof by several $1 million for cloud storage. So it's one of the biggest benefits I see is to where we know exactly what we need to budget and how we're going to get there is through the budgeting process, and we can find money other ways.
Yeah, I can tell you that cost can get. So,
what are the downsides, Chief? What do you look at as far as the downsides to us as the city or to your officers? What are the downsides to this equipment?
I wish I could tell you one, but I tell you, I've looked through all this and
liability.
I've been studying this for years.
What's that?
I've been studying this system for years and trying to get a system like this down south, and we're working on it. The system that we get with this and our drones that we're pretty much getting almost practically for free, it's second to none. I tell you, you listen to the radios now that we're on the county radio, and they dispatch drones to everything almost, and it's so crazy. They had a chase the other day on County Line Road, and they're calling the sheriff's office in Hernando. They're dispatching drones to it. And they got FHP, Hernando sheriffs, Pasco sheriffs all working together as one because they're all in these systems.
So you don't need a helicopter in there anymore.
No.
You need a drone.
We've already came up with the sheriff has asked us all not to request helicopters anymore unless it's a pursuit going through different counties, because the drones are so much cheaper to operate, so much easier to operate, and the operating costs are so little compared to the helicopter fuel and the pilots and everything else.
Now, everything, do you get everything in this package, or are some of these extras? Or do you get everything it says in this package?
So you get everything that's on the quote. There's some things we're not getting, like the Fuchsia system, which is the real-time crime center. I want to wait a couple of years for that because I'm not ready to actually implement this, so I don't want to start paying for it now, and we're not going to use it for a year or two. So once everybody gets trained, and that cost is really minimal. It's not that big of a cost anyway, but the rest of it is, like I say,
Everything.
the body cams, the tasers, the in-car cameras, the
Even when
report
they pull
writing
their
system.
gun out of the holster, it goes off.
Yes.
License
So that's the
plate.
things where, some people get tied up with with the body cams, and all of a sudden we get into a pursuit and the levels are high, the stress levels are high, the tunnel vision is really small, and we jump out of our car and start chasing somebody, forget to turn our body cams on. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, why didn't you turn your body cam on? You just beat them up and you did this and you did that. And we have no proof because we got the cameras there. With this system, when we turn our lights on in our car, the body cam's going to go on. If we draw our gun, the body cam's going to go on. If we draw our taser, the body cam's going to automatically go on. So it's automatically recording those situations if we forget to push the button and
I
start.
read too, and there's something about up to 18 hours if you forget to turn it on, you can actually go back and get that.
Yes. So it basically what it does, it's like a recording after the fact. It's constantly recording, but it's not burning it into the system and uploading it to the cloud. So God forbid something happens, we get into a chase and we don't turn it on and we get ambushed and we're down, we can always go back and watch the video after the fact, even though it wasn't actually on, but it'll eventually will erase over top of that after a certain
Chief,
amount of
who's
hours.
going to review that information? Are you going to be stuck at your desk doing that?
No, so that's the good thing about Axon. And when down south, we actually had to hire a person to do these body cam redactions. With this software, it comes with the AI software. The officers can actually redact it themselves. It's just a little bit more training. And when they're going through it, if you have a juvenile or somebody like that you can't release their picture, they can click on that and it goes through the whole entire video. And then our records clerk will actually review it one last time before we hand it out to somebody when they get it.
So the officers can be able to do their own through AI
Yes.
quickly and efficiently. But you have to hire a new person. You're not going to be chained to your desk back there going through videos because video reviewing takes days.
Yes, because if you have an hour video, it takes 3 hours to redact it the old way because they'd have to watch it. They'd have to go back and redact it all and then watch it again to make sure it's all gone. So you're wasting 3 hours of your time with the AI system. It'll go through it all, but you definitely need somebody to double check it just to make sure that the AI did what it's supposed to do. But I've never heard anything bad about the system. I talked to the chief in Zephyr Hills a lot, and they love the system, and it's working out great for them. And they have the older equipment. They don't even have the newest equipment yet.
Do you have the hardware back there in your system to integrate with this right now?
No.
So what do we have to do now? We have to buy new computers for you?
Well, the computers, no, because we already do have our new computers.
You do?
We just switched over from the sheriff's office to our own computers. Our IT specialist is actually working on that, integrating that system right now. So as soon as we get those computers out there, everything is ours. The computers and dispatch, everything is like right there for us.
So you already have what you need to make this work?
Yes.
We just got the computers. The car is the office.
I was just, sometimes you buy something, you're like, yeah, we got everything but the mainframe. It's like,
That's part of the sole source.
It's $1.5 million.
I got a question. You look like the phones, they don't give you the charger anymore. I got a cable. Doesn't come with
Yeah, Axon is really good business, and we're just addressing the operation stuff. I haven't even addressed the training issues with it. Like now we get this new training system. It's virtual reality where it just gives you so many different scenarios where you're in that virtual world and you're making decisions based on the officer, and the trainer's just sitting there watching them, and we can see on the screen what they're seeing and how they're reacting, whether if the person's got a gun or a knife or they don't have any weapon at all.
Eyeglass stuff?
Yeah,
They're wearing headphones?
It's next level virtual reality stuff. And then we also get suits to where we can actually do, I call it training at the speed of light, where, we put these suits on and we can actually deploy a taser on somebody or deploy munitions on a firearm, or hit them with a baton or whatever we need to do to raise that training level to make sure our guys are ready for everything they come across in that world.
Sounds like he's writing a Christmas a letter to Santa Claus or something. Does FDLE have a grant for this?
No, they do have grants for a lot of things. Most of the time, stuff like this.
There's your
not
downside.
covered. There are some grants out there you can get for parts of the body worn cameras,
Yeah.
but not the whole entire system.
Not this, okay.
It's very hard to get a grant for the whole entire system. And usually
That's
when they
something I
do,
would-
it's one of these bigger departments that they're under degrees and they have problems and they have issues with the Department of Justice, so they want eyes on what's going on out there, such as some of the bigger agencies up north that don't have body cams and are accused.
That's why I would think
and
they'd
they have
want
a
to
lot
help.
of lawsuits against them and things like that, to where those are the places that they're going to try and get that money to.
Just one number on the drones. We did get FDLE grants for those.
Yes.
And Ashley's got it on the calendar for next council meeting. There's a PowerPoint, a short PowerPoint, and about a 3-minute video that
We want to see a drone in the parking lot. Can't we see one go up in the air and take off?
will
Little video action.
We'll do
A
the
little video
first,
for you next
and then
time.
we'll work on the demo. But yeah, once we have,
And we can do a taser demonstration on you. That's what I was thinking. See how tough the mayor is. Can I get a motion for that?
We should make it.
Here's the hard question.
Bring one to a town hall.
It's budgeted. It's already budgeted. It's already budgeted. Adam had a look.
Adam's like, what?
One question I did have, is actually 2 questions. The cost we see here, there's no gotcha, no additional administrative costs or whatever, personnel costs, whatever. We're not accounting in here. This is
No, this is it. And like I say, when we talk about the sole source and non-sole source, this includes everything. We're talking about USB cables, the connection, stuff like that you could go to Best Buys and pay more for. But it's good to just get the bundle, get their stuff, and then it's covered under their warranty. If we don't get their stuff, then it's not covered under their warranty.
I was going to point that out because I get nervous about the sole source and going to bid and doing all those things, right? But if you buy a cable from Best Buy, all of a sudden now you don't have a warranty. I mean, that's not really a wise choice to make.
right.
Obviously, you're
Do
spending
they
money
send
for
somebody to help you get all this set up?
They'll probably send a team of about 5 people because they have taser people, they have body cam people, they have in-cars, and they're also going to be installing our in-car cameras for us too with this price. So we don't really have to pay anything extra for the install or the training.
So it truly is all in one.
Yes, and that's the way Axon tries to be, and that's why they're the best of the best right now. It's one-stop shopping. And like I say, we have their report writing system right now, but this will also integrate our evidence portion into the report writing system, which we don't have. So our officers could literally, when you're sitting at a car, take a picture of somebody's driver's license, and it's automatically going to dispatch. They're working it. It's going into our report writing system. And if we take a picture of a written statement, it automatically goes into our evidence vault. So it's there. So when we go to court, we don't have to worry about a piece of paper that we have to bring back here, scan in, and all the other stuff.
So they become your evidence vault?
Yes.
Their storage system becomes your evidence
For our digital evidence, yes. So like when my officers, if I pull up one of my officers' reports right now and I want to watch an in-car video camera, then I got to exit out of that system, go into another system, and hopefully the system works and see the in-car video camera. This, I could click on the report, I could read the report, watch their body cam, see their in-car camera, see a picture of all the evidence that they're putting into evidence. And it's so much easier even for the state attorney when they're doing prosecution because they have all that in one area.
All right, I got some big questions for you. Can you sit at home and watch your officers through their body cam?
So technically, yes. I think
if you're worried about not that I have any problem with your officers.
No.
But if you want to see what's going on, they eat donuts down here, or they doing speed radar stuff over here, because your officers are constantly.
We technically could, but I think the union's going to probably step in and not want to do that. But if we had something where I thought somebody was doing something inappropriate, we could get and start doing an investigation to where they wouldn't even know. But right now, when we get them, if we do start logging into their cameras and like dispatch starts watching them live, they'll know it right away because it'll tell them that somebody's watching them, especially.
But if you were
in the
undercover,
bathroom
it
or
would be
something
different.
like
They wouldn't be able to see it, right?
But it's good if they
not that we have bad officers.
requested for.
No, and that's another thing too, is we do a lot of stuff here, and I increased our evaluation system to now we do evaluations every quarter, then once a year. And watching people's body cams, you can see how they interact with people, making sure that they're de-escalating the way they should, rather than, we get citizen complaints and now it's their word versus our word. And now we can say, here's the video. Are you sure you want to file this complaint? Because you're the one saying all the stuff that you said.
I see the benefits to it. It's incredible.
All the time.
Yeah. We've been recording closings on car deals now for almost 20 years.
Yeah, so the cool thing about this too is the fuchsia system, when we start the real-time crime center here in the next couple of years, is people like, say, Walmart. they could buy their own cameras. They're not the same cameras we have, but they can give us access to those cameras, so we could be watching the person steal stuff if we wanted to, and see them leave the store, watch get the tag on their car with the license plate recognition readers. There's a whole gamut of things here that we have the access to, and this is pretty much the beginning stages of the next level in crime fighting, if you ask me.
The other thing I had was you mentioned that there was something you were delaying. There would be additional cost. That's not baked into these increased costs that we see here, right?
No, that'll be a totally separate thing, and that'll come to you for your approval.
Is it yearly?
It's more of a software type of thing than it is. This is pretty much mostly hardware.
Is it one time?
No, that's a yearly thing. That's why I don't want to pay for it now.
How much is it a year, roughly?
It just depends on how many licenses we get. With those, I don't think we'd need that many licenses, but it also gives us the access to where if you have cameras on the outside of your house, we can give you a device and you can give us access to your cameras on the outside of your house. So if we're chasing somebody through people's yards, my real-time crime center could watch those people in those backyards. And then it also sends you an alert as a homeowner saying, hey, the police department logged into your cameras on such and such date and such time.
That'll be nice.
And same thing with like Walmart, the businesses. That's the big thing about the real-time crime center with this system. It all integrates perfectly.
Very cool. I think this is been a long time coming. It sounds like we're going to be cutting edge, and that's exciting stuff.
Make a motion.
Okay, motion to
approve $99,929 and a 10-year contract for the Axon system for
second
City of Police.
Motion
City of
second.
Port Richey Police Department.
Any further discussion?
One thing,
Yeah.
I have one further thing. Since this is a 10-year contract, I'd like to just note that the range of the payments will be $99,929.34 all the way up to $134,992.10 for a total of $1,267,547.93 over the course of the 10-year term.
Yeah, no, it's
Right. So the range,
year one is the cheapest.
right, yeah. I just wanted to point out the range.
I see the benefits
Mhm.
of, and saving, multitasking, shortening the amount of time they're sitting doing reports, all that, and safety, less lawsuits, all that stuff. No, we got to prove here it is right here.
Yeah, no, that's I think there'd be probably several instances where it's going to save money because we're not going to lose some.
It's another reason we can call him Batman. All the good stuff, all the goodies.
Okay. Any
That
other
was
discussion?
it.
Any public
Just wanna
comment?
make that clear.
No? Okay. If not, I'll bring it back for vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I
Can
just
we
want to
get a
add,
demonstration of the drones?
Next week or 2 weeks, the next commission meeting, we're bringing the drones for you.
Cool.
and just want no, it's really exciting to do this, get the equipment in the police hands, this kind of technology. I know we spent a lot of money on fire and doing all kind of cool fire equipment, so this is good to you guys get a little of that action as well. And no, fire department cannot have body cams. So,
They would just point with themselves.
Hey, we did get 4 dozen donuts though, okay?
but anytime you need a body cam on site, you just let Chief know. I'm sure.
There you go. Thank you on behalf of all the officers. I
I
know
just
they
messed with you.
appreciate
I
it.
was going to ask you one last thing. Are all the officers okay with body cams?
Yes, they, when I first got here and I told them, get ready because it's coming, because there's no way I'm going to be a chief without body cams. And there are some people that were a little nervous. And then when I explained to them the benefits and how good it is for us, they understand it all now.
So no pushback.
And none from my current officers.
Understand, sir.
Good stuff. Next up, item number 5, Florida Division of Emergency Management, FDEM, Elevate Florida Programs offer to the City of Port Richey to accept or reject ownership of 5027 Waterside Drive. Pass it to Mr. Butterfield for
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. This should sound familiar. Last meeting, we discussed this and realized we needed to try to go back and get a little more information so you can make a good choice. I think it boiled down to, do we want an empty piece of land that's never taxed again, but we can't do much with it, or do we want to turn down this offer and hopefully it'll revert to the market and somebody will build a house there again. Right now it's empty, but it has a swimming pool as I understand it.
So there's no house yet on the property right now?
I think it was taken down, right?
No, so
It's still there. Okay.
Yeah,
but it's severely damaged.
Are they living in it?
No, it's it's really damaged from the storms.
Not to my knowledge.
I drove by there and I believe I saw activity, but
Last I knew is they were in there removing things, but that's the last I knew. I mean, things could have changed. I don't know.
I mean, I'm on Miller Bayou, and that is a beautiful body of water, and it has lots of potential. And for us to go in there and take this free property and sit there and look at it, cut the grass on it, and weed eat it and all that stuff, that's a waste of our city's revenue. So I think we reject this completely. And, and I'll certainly make the motion to reject the offer.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second to reject the offer. Any further discussion? I'll just add that, I'm in total agreement. I really hate that we play a factor in that decision for a homeowner resident that wants to utilize that program in that fashion. I don't think we know the reasons why. Everybody has reasons behind that, but that's, like I said, that's very valuable property over there. I wish they would elevate. Obviously, there's costs, and everybody has to make a choice. I would think they could sell on open market and probably get at least what the government was willing to pay. So I really, in this vote, I hope that everything works out good for them by our denying this, because I hate to stand in the way of somebody's choice, but I don't think it's a good choice given that particular property. So, anything else? Right? Any public comment? Ron?
Rob Kenworthy, 5800 Queener Avenue. This property would be donated to the city?
So the property would be basically given to the city.
Mm-hmm.
So that the government, the county, I guess, or FDEM, the federal government, through their program, would buy them out of it, and it property becomes restricted. You can no longer build on it, and it would come to us. Probably like a $10 transfer or something. Like, I think the one we turned into community garden before, it was another example of this, and becomes a city's property. We could do certain things with, but we couldn't do a whole lot with it.
How about knock it down the house, made a nice kayak launch there with a couple picnic tables and a little covered area right across Molesner.
We already have it. Yep, there was
it's nice property.
Yeah, it is nice property. We do have a park over there already.
Yeah,
and like I said, it's a very viable property. It's I understand. So
nobody's going for that, huh? That's my opinion.
Rob, it's going to be a multi-million-dollar home, and the tax base is going to be fit.
So what happens with the property? The property will still go to the city?
They'll resell it.
They will resell it.
So
you maybe put it back on tax.
Yeah, something clearly was in there too, just for the public's knowledge. So by us rejecting this, it's not like the county go ahead and accept it and keep it for county purposes. It's this program. What they can do is they can try to put them in another program like Elevation or something like that, but the property would still remain a viable property somebody could buy and develop.
So it wouldn't be just sitting there doing nothing.
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, put a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is item number 6, extension of professional service contract for Mr. Mike Moore of the Southern Group. I'll pass it to Mr. Butterfield for introduction.
Yes, sir. Mike worked here as a lobbyist, and the council approved into the budget a pay raise, a $6,000 pay raise from $36,000 to $42,000 annualized, about $3,500 a month.
Yeah, so go from $3,000 a month to $3,500.
So we utilized the same contract at
Palmetto.
In Palmetto last year that they extended their contracts. We were able to piggyback them more. Next year, we might be able to do our own contract with them, but for now, this was an expeditious way of thanking him and for what he did this year, and hoping he'll keep doing good stuff for the city in the coming year.
Yeah,
Is that negotiable?
Everything's negotiable. I will say this, that Mike's original ask of the city was $42,000, and we actually at the time found this other contract that was cheaper, and they honored that. And at the time, obviously, there was no guarantee that anything was going to come of that. It's there's a risk there that you pay a lobbyist and you don't get any funding. Obviously, we got a whole poop pot full of funding. So if I
yeah, I know.
and so
it's a good investment.
And so by all means, first year out the gate, I mean, he did a bang up job for us, and obviously there's a lot of things in factor there in play, but I have no reservation of bumping it to what his original ask was for the firm, and they, like I said, they're going to do a whole lot more work for us going forward. I think he had like a 90-year payback based on what we're paying him and what he actually brought to the city. Obviously, this would take that down to some 80-some years probably, but anyway, I think it's well warranted, well deserved, and I think we can always negotiate something later if it doesn't continue to work out.
I think we have a lot of opportunity here. I met not only here in the city, but also in DC when I was down there. Him and his staff invited us into his office, gave us 25 minutes of his time. When he found out I was vice mayor, he was like, Chris, we were willing to do whatever you guys need. Let me know what you need. I came back and let the mayor know he's willing to help us. So I think having Mike here and helping us here, and also with Gus, I think we're in a good place.
Yeah, no, Mike is worth his weight in gold, and in the firm as well. So, like I said, they have a lot of connections with different legislators, and it's money well spent. Like I said, we'd always reevaluate. I think this contract is 3 years with options for 2 renewal, or no, we just did a 2.
I don't remember. I have to look it up.
Okay, motion to approve?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Seconded.
Christine. Just before did you see what the
Palmetto renewed it for 1 more year, and that's what we've done.
I know he was originally asking for different terms, so he just went, it's just another year?
I think this one, because that's what we needed to piggyback. We needed something to piggyback on because you didn't want it to go quickly. So I think it's just for the 1 more year. And next year we
do it again. Okay.
Or make your own contract. Go out to bid. And
Yes, okay, cool. Well, that's even, I guess, somewhat better. It's just another year, so we can always reevaluate it next year if it's not something's going to work out. So, motion second. Any further comments? Any public comment? Seeing none, put the vote on favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is item number 7, discussion of city attorney services contract. I'll pass it to Mr. Butterfield for introduction.
Yes, sir. The Trust Doganal, am I saying it right?
Danielle.
Trust Danielle firm.
It doesn't look like
Danielle.
Danielle. Looks much harder than that, doesn't it?
That's Danielle.
That French?
Yeah, I believe so.
The firm, in the form mostly of our good friend Nancy, has represented us for the last almost 3 years. I believe the current contract with the city expires at the end of January, so it's a good time to discuss renewal or other options.
Okay, thanks. I'll start. Obviously, I've worked with Nancy my entire time, so I've got a long, almost 3-year history with Nancy, and I can tell you that I've always considered the cost of the agreement, right? And there's, and I've always wrestled with, could we, and I've got some numbers here, I'm going to share those. So obviously the year she came on was a partial year, and so we had Jim here that was really, for his salary, but it was low. So all in, we spent on, if this is right, $124,652.84 for the year. Okay, and then a full year with Nancy's firm in 23-24 was $190,682.61, and then we budgeted looks like $160, so we were $30,000 over. 24-25, we, as of right now, we're $179,630 and 15 cents. I believe we're probably going to be around the 190 range once, because there's no accrual in this number. So when that comes in, it's going to be around there. We budgeted 170, so it'll be about 20 over there. So, but we're running about 190 all in over 2 years, very, very close. So, and I've always, and nothing against Nancy. Nancy's great, and I've told her this, and it's a very tough decision to think about doing something else. But what I know is that there's obviously in the contract they're asking for a rate change, and I know, and I can use my instance as an example. When I went through the recall, that attorney was $350, $375, $325, $350 per hour, depending on which thing it was doing. So we're at 210 now. In another contractual arrangement, we're probably not going to find a cheaper rate than the 210 we're at now. Could be surprised, but I highly doubt it. Things are costing more, so I really see that's not going to be the case. The other thing that we could look at, obviously, is putting out for an actual in-house attorney. And again, when we start talking about that, you're going to have a lot of baked-in costs above the salary. You're going to pay a high salary, but you're also going to have benefits and all that. And so you're probably going to be around that 190 range anyway with benefits or whatever. There is somewhat of an advantage because it locks your cost in, so it's not variable. You know what you're spending out the gate for that year. If all this call Nancy Moore in 1 year, that's going to obviously fluctuate that to the higher side, whereas an in-house attorney wouldn't. But I don't think we're going to be saving any money by doing that, and I'm not sure we're going to find somebody either. You never know until you try. But where I'm going with this is, I think what I would like to ask before we make any decision on that, and again, contracts till January, I would like to ask that Nancy would go back and see if they would be willing to extend the contract at the current rates as opposed to upping it to 235, keep it to 210 and everything else. And, time frame, obviously we could talk about, but if they're willing to extend that, maybe we could go 2-3 more years. I think this year was a 3-year contract. It's the first one. So I would like to go that route first just to see, because in my mind, after we go out and the data comes in and we realize, whoa, these rates are a lot higher and we're not seeing that, then it doesn't give us the ability to go back to that established 3-year relationship that we have with our current provider. Because at that point they're going to know they came back, much higher. Maybe they're not willing to do that. So I think it would be prudent of us to.
You lost me on that last little.
Yeah. So let me explain it. Sorry about that. So let's say that we go out and we get some numbers in and they're all 300 plus. And then for us to go back and say, we'd like to keep the 210 rate, they're going to be like, well, you just saw this 300 something. Right now, we don't know what we don't know. I speculate that we're going to see that. So that's why I think it would behoove us to try to negotiate with the firm to see if they're willing to extend the contract at the current rates that we already have and not up it.
But did they not come at us?
Well, they're asking. That's what they're asking. That doesn't mean that they won't take anything less.
We have discussed this, and I have no problem going back to the firm and explaining them what has been asked, if that's what the consensus is to do, and all we can do is see what their response is.
And what I would say is I think and I would impress upon Nancy to let them know our intent is to go out and look, but we value the relationship that we've built, and we'd really like to continue that relationship if we can, but it's very taxing on our small city currently. We've been over budget every year of the contract, save the first year because it was and actually I think it was over budget then too because it wasn't expected. Yeah, we were actually over budget $57,000 that year. So we've been over budget. Yeah, again, Jim was very, very cheap, and when we went, I think he came in January.
Yes,
right?
End of January.
You talking about the local person we had?
Yeah. So it really blew it out then because it was, we budgeted for Jim and we got her in January. So, but that being said, we've exceeded budget every year of the contract. Somewhat unsustainable, but depending on what you can acquire to replace, you may not be doing yourself any favors. Relationships are important to me. We've established a relationship. I think that Nancy does a great job for us. The firm itself is a great resource.
And you get the whole firm.
And you get the whole firm with that.
I mean, we got Nancy, but we got the whole firm.
Yeah, and that's another thing that you need to understand. If we do an in-house attorney, you have some additional accessibility. Your costs are somewhat locked in with that particular attorney. But as soon as we have a specialized need or whatever, he doesn't necessarily have that firm behind him that he can pass it along. And those rates vary based on the expertise, right? Whereas your firm, it's like it's set, that rate is that's the rate. So you get the power of the firm at that rate.
The only thing that extra is for the paralegal. What is that?
Which in this sort of work, there's very little paralegal work, but that is there.
But it's 95 an hour.
And I think it's the current contract's 75.
I think it's the same. I don't think we changed
No,
it.
95 is the same. Okay.
There's really
So it's really just
not much at all that
it's
they
a
do.
it's a $25 an hour change on the attorney, which is most of the time. So that would increase us, somewhat significantly. That additional, not huge, but I'd have to calculate the hours and see what that equates to. But it's not a small change. So I think I'd like to see us at least see if we would be able to talk that firm into keeping our same rates and going forward and preserving that relationship, and then based on what they come back with, make a decision.
Well, we have another law firm does our traffic cameras, John McGuire, another firm.
He's your special magistrate.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't.
He's the court entity. He still represents.
He couldn't do the same thing. He would have to pay one or the other. And I don't know what he does other than special magistrate work. He may be someone that's qualified.
Right, and I don't like changes either. If you could keep it the same price would be great. I think it's our due diligence to see what else is available anyway for the citizens, and whether they're more or they're less don't mean we have to do that. It depends, but I think we need to do our due diligence.
Yeah, I'm just if we do that, that might
maybe it would, maybe it won't.
So I like Nancy. Nancy, you've been doing a great job.
Again, this is not a personal conversation.
No, it's not. No.
Absolutely.
Trust me, I get right down to it. So we're going to talk about business. I foresee us going through a growth spurt here, okay, where we're going to need boots on the ground, people in place. I mean, we know we hired Andy as a interim city manager, but what about when we get a full-time city manager there? And that person's like a general in war, and he's looking for people around him to help him and make decisions on the fly real quick like this here. And she's 45, 50 miles away from here. You know what I mean? So that's, I'm just thinking for us to look at it, to just say, oh no, we're good and go on. I don't think we're thinking about the growth of our city. And I don't think we're thinking about the need of a future city manager that we may have who's sitting here who really needs somebody there by his side to make decisions, to make things happen on the fly. So I think it would be in our best interest to at least see what's out there. You know, it doesn't mean that I think we'd be dereliction of duty not to, and I think she does a fine job for us. I just think that we would just, like Bob said, I think we need to see what's out there and see what our options are. Because if not, then they don't need us here. Our job's not to hire a city attorney and a manager that will work together to bring our city, what we consider to be in a whole different place from where we are right now. Like we'll call it on the map, actually with a place that people want to come to and hang out and all that stuff. We're going to need some hardcore muscle for that. And I don't know that,
Hey, you don't know that the firm has that?
Let me turn the mic on here.
Oh,
You're talking about
Yeah.
that would be beneficial, yeah.
I'm talking about an in-house staff attorney right here. They've got an office in the building here that the city manager can walk across the hall and go sit down in their office and say, hey, I'm dealing with this. What do you think? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So there is definitely pluses to that, 100%.
But is there the work for it?
Right. You can find that person. And so, and again, the cost, you're probably not going to save anything, and it may, but
It's not about saving.
Right. Okay. So as long as we clarify that, I'll talk about Newport Richey and their arrangement. So they have a full-time attorney, if you will, with Tim Driscoll, and he is there Tuesday and Thursday. That's his office hours. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, he's not there. Now they pay him a set rate, and I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if there's any benefits involved or whatever. But he's their in-house attorney, but he's there. He's not there 5 days a week. He's doing other things. And so I would, and they're 5 times our size too. And that works for them. So yeah, we got things going on or whatever. And you talk about not being, right here. I mean, she's
phone call away,
very responsive. Jumps on a Zoom call. I mean, Andy, if you maybe talk a little bit about how that interaction with staff goes, because obviously we know the interaction, but maybe share how staff interacts with it, with Nancy's firm. Because if we have another firm, right, you're probably going to have a similar arrangement, right? So the only difference is if we actually find somebody to be in-house and be your in-house attorney.
I isn't a full-time person here. Maybe they retired to Florida. They've had a great career. They've got great references. They know how to get things done. They might be, have a lot of runway left in their life. They want to do something. They want to come here and help us in our city. That's what I envision.
Yeah, and we can find that person.
Yeah, I think they're out there.
I like
Coming
having
to Florida
a
by
firm.
the million.
I like having a firm. If Nancy's not available, and you can have an attorney who gets sick, goes on vacation, does this, does that. When that happens with Nancy, if she gets sick or she goes on vacation, we still have an attorney.
Yeah,
I like that. So I think it's gone smooth the last 3 years.
Yeah, and there's obviously anytime you have turnover and change, city managers or otherwise, council members, there's a period of time it takes to learn the things, and the legal aspects of the city are the most important part of that, and knowing the code and whatnot. And of course, Nancy has 3 years in of that knowledge, and so she becomes more and more proficient over time. If we translate that to an in-house attorney, there's going to be some ramp-up time, and again, that work itself out in a certain period of time. I get the argument, and it's a struggle to do that. I just, knowing what I know, I think we should definitely make the ask first, and based on that ask, we can then decide we still want to go out. I'd hate to go out and then do the ask, because at that point the cat's out of the bag. There's no there's less leverage there, if that makes sense.
That's our job.
Well, I'm not saying it.
I know what you're saying, but it's our job. That's part of sitting in this chair.
Right.
We got two jobs here.
Yeah.
Hire the attorney and hire the city manager. Right? That's our job.
And I would say, because there's kind of two different conversations, and I think you understand this, if the idea is to go out for bid for an in-house attorney, that's what you need to, you need to say that and be specific in your request for proposals and what you're looking for,
right,
and give that detail versus, going out to bid just for any attorney that might want to, apply for it, because that would be two different looks for the people that are responding.
Chrissy?
In Timothy Driscoll's contract, their contract initiated in 2016, and they should be on the 8th amendment by now, but they have 7 published amendments. And his hourly rate, he's no less than 16 hours per week, but his hourly rate is $150, which has never changed over the course of the entire.
Well, that's because I think they just increased it last year.
I cannot see the 2025, but as of 2024,
Well, it changed since then.
it remained the same.
Yeah, because he just got a raise, I think.
So it would be just this year that he got a raise, and I can't find that one. But he also has a cap of $11,000 per month. It says right here, at no time during the length of this agreement shall the total amount billed by attorney in a calendar month exceed an amount of $11,000. Do we need to rein ourselves in and create a cap to where we,
But you're saying use it 2 days a week.
He's still available to work.
Right.
He just can't bill past that level.
I know, but
I haven't read that. I know I've seen contracts where there's provisions like that, but then if there's obviously a provision, if you need your lawyer, and he's going to get paid. Mm-hmm. And it may be that that hourly rate's a different rate somewhere, and I haven't seen his.
Maybe then it has to come to the consent agenda, something like that. I mean, I don't know. We have to approve additional charges over $11,000 because that's just significant. They're a lot larger than us. And their legal fees, I don't know what they're actually paying versus what his contract reads, but if they were sticking to this contract, they would be coming in at far less annually than we are for legal services for a much larger city. So just something to think about.
I can ask and see what the all-in for him
Right.
is.
Yeah, would love to know.
Yeah, I would too, actually. It's, cause there may be some benefits in there that are not.
Right,
I don't know.
yeah.
Does it say in his contract about benefits?
Um,
And honestly, there's
it's,
probably things.
No, it's very basic.
Okay, so there's probably things in there where he has to hire another attorney or
He
whatever.
has to attend the meetings, all the proceedings. So there's a list of things that he does. He provides administrative oversight, prompt responses to the city with the date stamping or other tracking accountability purposes. I would like to see more of that. I would like to get a with the agenda. I would like to see the status report just at all times, just for accountability, so that we know where all of our projects are tracking at all times. Because sometimes I just don't know. Like I've listened to all of the meetings for years, so I know there's things out there, but I don't know where we stand on them. So I would just like to see when things come in, when they're done, when they're expected to be done. You know what the ask is. And we should probably consider putting some kind of cap on it, because we have to rein ourselves in sometimes. Some of it is our own policing. We can't just have this open ask at all times for something that is this expensive.
Yeah.
You know, we have to, is it a priority? We should discuss these things rather than everybody just being able to run to her freely.
I know along that there was when Matt's here. I don't know about now that there was. I think there was a lot of staff interaction directly with you without going through the city manager. That maybe I know Matt. It seemed like Matt reined that in a little bit.
I'm not saying there wasn't. I don't have a specific memory of that being an issue. But it could have been, and I'll tell you, when Matt got here, it also transitioned into like and we've continued that with a weekly meeting. So staff also knew, city manager's going to have that call on Friday with her, and some of that stuff was filtered that way. So that may have come limited that, but I don't have a specific memory of that. But that doesn't mean it.
Yeah, and there's other. Obviously, the travel cost is trying to be mitigated as well. As like we put planning and zoning on the same day as council now, so that's not a separate meeting. So there's certain things that have happened over time to try to keep that contained. But at the end of the day, when you need an attorney, and it's
but I mean, I think there should be some kind of policy, because you can't just have an open-ended attorney. I don't think, because if so, then our expenses are far exceeding our neighboring cities. And they're larger. They're much larger. So we have to rein ourselves in and really come up with a procedure of I think just something written where we have to follow some certain steps. Of course, in council meetings, then we direct for things to be done. But outside of that, I could call her up 5 times a week. And I don't really think that I should be able to call her up as often as I want to, because it's just a cost to the city. I try to really rein myself in. I have some things that I really need her for, but I don't just call her, and I don't open-endedly email with her or anything. I try to get it all organized.
No, that's right. That's kind of the responsibility.
I think we need to have some kind of policy where we, rein ourselves in a little bit to keep our costs under control, because we owe that to the public.
Sure. I'll say
audience.
Oh, I'll go public comment when it's time.
Go ahead.
No, did you have something?
Yeah, I had.
Go ahead.
So we're talking about annexing. We're talking about acquiring property. Having an attorney who's got real estate experience is vital at this point for us, because none of us do. We're talking about the people on the staff in here who don't have real estate experience. Why wouldn't we fish for somebody who does have real estate experience that can help us with the annexation, with the buying property, of the things that we're all talking about?
Is that 2 different things?
What real estate attorney? They have one of your firm, right? Okay. So we'd have to contract that out anyway. Real estate.
It would depend on what it was. If you want contracts written, I think you mean the bigger picture of the negotiation.
I'm just talking about a real estate savvy person. That's all.
That could be something.
A lot of attorneys are real estate savvy. You got to go specifically look for one savvy in that department. And if really annexation is what you're talking about, as far as making the city bigger and getting more taxation money in here, then you're going to need somebody who's savvy in that department.
Yeah, but isn't that 2 different attorneys?
No, it's not.
So, I mean, most attorneys are going to specialize in something. You're not going to have a jack of all trades attorney. You may, but then they're not going to be really good at the things that are most part like municipal.
Remember, we're 3,500 residents, right? 1,200 homes. You know, that we're going to have a handyman attorney or a woman, you know what I'm saying, that's in-house here that is able to do multiple different things.
Yeah.
And they're going to grow with the city manager and they're going to help each other and support each other, you know, and that's all I'm thinking.
I'm not opposed to going out and seeing
I
what's
don't
out
want to be poo-pooing on Nancy because I love Nancy. I really do. I'm trying to think what's the best thing for our city as we grow and for us just to kick the can down the road and just say, well, let's just go with what we got. Ask her to work a little cheaper. I don't know if that's really us hitting the gas pedal, and we need to hit the gas pedal now.
With it's, again, you're still making an assumption that that process comes out positive. So why don't we do this? This is my thought, and you guys can poo-poo it if you want. I don't care either way. Actually, I am fully on board. How many times have I mentioned it, about going out and because it sure seemed like we could get somebody in here full time for around that money.
I don't know if you don't ask.
That's right. However, I've come to understand the relationship and costs and all that. And so what I would suggest, why don't we at least find out before we do anything if they would keep with the same rates, and then we can look at Newport Richey. In the meantime, we can see what their all in is. And that way we know coming in, well, if you guys extend with us X, we'll keep it the same rate. Or maybe it's a hard no, this is our bottom offer, take it or leave it. And based on that answer, and even if we hear that maybe they come back and say, we're going to cut you a deal, it's going to be 200 an hour instead of 210. Whatever they come back with, Nancy will advocate that our position and what our intent is, and then they come back with their last best and final for us. So we know, then we go ahead, we get till January anyway. Then we can go out with that information that's already said, right? And we can see what's out there, and then we can compare. I'm afraid if we don't do that first and we compare and then we find out, whoa, this is going to be way expensive. And then all of a sudden, well, if we've rethought ours, we're going to go to 450 or then be 250.
So be it.
Yeah.
We really don't have till January. We have to figure it out before January.
Right.
You know, we have to have an attorney in place.
Well, you guys go month to month after that.
Well, there's an option we could do. Yeah, I was going to say, there's an option we could do that. Within our agreement, and it would, be agreed among us. If you went out to bid and you needed some coverage time, I'm not going to say, see ya. We'll help with that transition once we get there, and that's why I wanted this to come up now and not in December. Right. If you want to go out, you want to bid, you want to put the word out there. You need time to do that. You need time to look at your responses and make your decisions and interview people if you need to do that. If you want to do an in-house option, you need time, whomever's going to put that together and figure out amongst you.
And we can start that today. We can start that today.
I think that's what we need to do. I mean, I think responsibility-wise, I think we need to put it out there that we're looking for a full-time in-house attorney, and I think we have the right, as the people that's been entrusted to be here, to do that. Mm-hmm. And if we go out there and say, Nancy, no, we searched through everybody in the whole place, and you're the absolute best deal for us, then we've done our due diligence. If we don't do that, we haven't done our due diligence. We're coming up to a contract renewal in January. Right. We have months to do this.
And maybe I'm not being heard correctly here. I'm saying exactly
4 times what you said, but I don't agree with you.
What don't you agree with?
I think we ought to go fishing right now. We got to go fishing and see if there's somebody else out there.
And I agree. All I'm saying is before we fish, we got to put together, just get an answer from the firm if they'll keep the same rate, so we know when we fish.
Get a picture, get the firm to respond to you. Get some feelers in the water. Find out if somebody. We don't have to go out there and hire a firm for $30,000 to hire a new attorney.
Put an RFP out, is what you're saying?
Exactly. Yeah. Put an RFP out there that we're looking for a full-time in-house. Something Nancy's not giving us right now.
Yes.
It's not that we're ruling against Nancy. It's that we're looking for somebody who would be more involved in our day-to-day operations. Somebody that would be here on staff instead of like, okay, well, I'll look into that. No, I've already looked into it. Here's the answer. Boom. And we're going to get more traction faster. That's what I'm thinking.
So you may not need a 40-hour-a-week attorney.
Maybe we need a part-time one. They come in here and
attorney. I mean, we may get away with 18, 20 hours a week in a small city like this.
That's up to Andy.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I don't know. Everybody else knows that you've seen her billings, how many hours she's put in.
How many hours do you think?
are just in meetings.
Oh, well,
Just-
yeah,
So you're saying we need somebody 18 hours a week?
I'm
No,
not, I'm
but-
not.
No, but like
I'm
you
not.
said, we could maybe just need somebody for 18 hours.
With the
But wait,
addition of things.
So then, if we got 4 hours just in this meeting, we're gonna need somebody for more than 18 hours a week.
Right,
It'd be 30 hours.
yeah. I mean, and it
I know.
might,
Who
it might
knows?
be
Here-
18 hours.
It's gonna vary.
Here's your answer.
With the addition of meetings, things
Uh, 40-hour a week, 2,080 hours a year times 210 is 436,800. We came in at 190. So
You said 40 hours a week?
40 hours a week is 28
Yeah,
hours.
I'm
You
thinking
take that times the bill rate 210.
You're assuming that we're not gonna be able to hire somebody for a salary.
And you would not be paying them 210. to
No,
be
all I'm
in-house.
saying is we have an attorney now that
Yeah,
is.
but we're not,
Listen, can I speak?
you sure can.
We have-
I
we
get
have-
to too.
Yeah, sure. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
We have an attorney now that is putting in the time that should tell us what we need. Do we need 40 hours a week? I'm just telling, if we needed 40 hours a week, we would be seeing our bills at $436,800. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is the numbers show that we don't need a full-time
Right,
attorney.
sure. Okay, thank you, yes.
That's
yes.
19 hours a week about.
But part-time.
And we already had made up our minds on what you were saying
Yeah,
before you
so-
got it
We
all
know
out.
what we don't need right now.
Hmm?
If we want to get the city growing and get this thing really moving, I don't know that status quo right now is like, well, we don't need anybody else. We're doing just fine. But I don't think that's the case. I think we need to really hit the gas pedal here to get on the map.
So it sounds like I'm hearing we don't even care if they're willing to do the same rate. We're moving forward.
I completely
No,
did
just
not say
just that
that.
we need to explore our options, just for due diligence purposes.
Can we do that
Put an
and
RFP.
ask at the
Yeah,
same
we
time?
can do that
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
ask.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
I don't understand what.
I already said that. I said all the above.
Yeah, I think, yeah. That's what we got elected
Right.
for.
All of it at the
She'll
same time.
see if she can
I
do it,
understand
same
what's
rate.
happening here, but yeah, all at the same time.
Okay, so by consensus,
Yes.
can we have Nancy go back to see if they're willing to keep the same rates?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
even better.
Yes.
If they're willing to do something, same rates or better, because our intent is to go forward and look for a
Nancy, we
in-house
need you to
attorney.
move in the back office here.
That's been discussed too, and I'm sorry, I'm going to decline that offer.
And so,
I appreciate the offer.
and so she goes back and I'm sure she can have that relatively quickly by next council meeting. And then in the meantime, staff prepares the city attorney in-house announcement.
RFP.
Wait a second, we have to step back and staff is gonna need to find out by reviewing the billing statements, how many hours, because the RFP would need to state how many hours we're looking for, what that hourly rate would be. So we're not necessarily looking to get a full-time attorney or even attorney in-house. We're exploring our options of having an in-house
Right.
attorney.
That's just a
Yeah,
possibility.
like the possibility.
Yes, yes.
So-
And putting the proposal out doesn't mean you have to do it.
Right,
It just puts
sure,
the information
yeah,
out there.
sure.
This is what I'm looking,
And
this is
then
what we're looking for, and you guys can make.
I'm saying at the same time, they can start
Before we
working
put
on
it-
that because that's our intent.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's
yeah.
up to Andy too, if we decide to keep him. So.
That's gonna be good.
Oh, boy, that sounded promising.
I've been very silent.
So,
Right.
are we all on board there?
Yes.
Okay, so Nancy, if you can go back
I
and
will do my best.
have them put a number to
I'll
pencil,
ask
we'll
for
know
a
what
big
that
discount, yes.
what that is, and tell them that we said relationships are important, but our intent is if we probably going to go out and look for
I will
options.
Yeah.
See what's out there.
Explore our options.
So, but we want to know what your option is
Yes.
involved in it.
understood. I will report back.
Okay, any objections? Sal?
So I need a little more clarification. RFP, RFQ, however you want to do is usually a 30-day standard. So do you want that prepared and put out while she's doing that? Or do you want us to start preparing it?
I think we
and
need to
then wait
review
to hear
that
from
at
this
next
response?
council meeting, and we make a decision.
I think prepare it.
Just
prepare it.
Yeah.
And
Well, we want to see
back.
what's going to go out, I think, right?
Right, absolutely, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So
Chris, you're shaking your head over there. Do you not care? Just put it out? You don't want to look at it?
I thought we just talked about it.
Well,
We're gonna fish.
What bait are you going to use?
And the RFP needs to give the details of what you're looking for,
I mean,
salary,
we should have
hours,
some oversight into that.
what work, scope of work.
Okay, so you're gonna have them put together.
And next council meeting, they'll bring back that, and she'll
tell
have her
us
answer, and then we'll.
Move from there.
we could also explore
weeks.
what our sister cities are doing
Yes.
at the same time.
Yes,
So we could provide that information. We'll confirm with Newport Richey what they're doing, Zephyr Hills, Dade City. And
Yeah, if we get their all in attorney costs,
Yeah,
what
we
their
can
ranges
find
are,
that
that'd
out.
be, and look at it all.
I can work with
2
the city
weeks.
manager and to prepare the RFP. But like I said, then we'll present that to council to review and with everything else at the next meeting.
Sounds good. Tell me what to do.
We're gonna have to factor in some things, if I can, we're gonna have to factor in some things besides a desk and a computer and retirement and life insurance, liability insurance and all that. The things that make a law firm go, the Westlaw database, the Nexus, Lexis library, all those sort of things. And most people, as you said, Mayor, aren't a jack of all trades. The beauty of having a firm is that there's somebody who specializes this and that, and Nancy's been able to reach back to them. So if you're hiring an in-house lawyer, they either need to be able to handle everything, or they're going to have to sub out too. So it's comparing apples and
Yeah, I'm not
But
crazy about in-house.
we're
but-
just doing the comparison because then we will
Right.
be able to present the
But I mean-
public with, we did our homework.
Right.
And this
Yes.
is the
Yes.
best
Absolutely.
option.
Pros
for
and
this.
cons of what we found.
Right.
We're just
We
gonna
won't know if we don't check.
That's right.
I'm just saying, we're going to try to brainstorm and capture those costs. You might not think of it first.
Sure.
Makes sense.
So
What's
you know,
Nexus, Alexis?
It's
a
Research.
database.
Our
Legal
research is
research.
electronic. It's, there's Westlaw and there's LexisNexis. Those are the two main.
Yeah, I got it back.
So that's where you go to get your facts. So when you come back, you didn't go to Google's AI and get the information, which you told me you wouldn't do, and I get
No,
it.
I said I wouldn't do a project with AI. I do research with AI and then I do the real research.
I got you.
That prompts
Okay. That makes
It can
sense.
help prompt you, but
Yeah.
I just today did one and guess what? It was wrong.
So
Anyway.
I see it wrong all the time.
Yeah.
So we're on the same page.
But yeah, so it's our way to research the case law to make
Okay,
my
that's
analysis.
cool. Yeah.
And I don't know how much it costs, so I can't
Well,
help you.
sounds like a fancy.
But I'm sure I can find out.
Okay, I'm getting ready to open to public comment. They've been waiting very patiently. Before I do that, there's one more thing. So just so you know, in the in-house situation or whatever, the firm, not necessarily Nancy's, but Nancy's firm has that where they have some cities require office hours where they do that. Now that might be get another attorney or whatever, because I don't know if that would work for Nancy, but another firm. So you don't necessarily hire an in-house attorney. They could be part of the firm as well. So you might still have that synergy of the
Sure.
firm, but have office hours too. So that's
Well, Sal knows how to do that.
And then they can submit with, or they can apply with the RFP.
Well, that's
Right.
gonna be, so that's two different things. So that's why you need to be
I
clear with
can't
what, you need to be clear with what you're looking for. An in-house attorney would be an employee of, independent contractor. I don't know how you set it up, but they would work for the city. A firm wouldn't be in-house. That would be a firm that you retain. Now, having office hours here, let's say I had office hours, I would Tuesday and Thursday, like Mr. Driscoll, you physically have the attorney here, but that wouldn't be your in-house attorney.
Sure.
Right, okay, so
Right, but I mean, the RFP could be adapted to be either or, that we are looking for either this or either that, or have two different RFPs that go out at the same time so that we could get all the appropriate, yeah.
Well, you're on call, right?
Yeah.
So that's, on call, even if they're in-house, they can still be on call. They can have their own firm.
And some of us like to have those office hours right
Yeah,
here.
I was addressing the office
Well,
hours.
then it'd be certain times that they could only use them. It's like,
They've got emergency stuff to do.
Usually the office hours doesn't mean you can't talk to the attorney outside of those hours. That's just kind of the designated time for that attorney to be at City Hall. So
Right.
you would know, okay, that he or she's there.
dedicated time.
I can stop by and ask these questions because I didn't want to call because we're paying that person to be there to do that.
Okay.
We have not done that in here because we try to avoid the travel time. I am not against office hours if that's something that ultimately is decided that people want. You just have to make it work with everybody's schedule. That's one to make sure that having office hours doesn't mean you're
Or
necessarily
even office or availability to where there's this segment of time that they're definitely available. I mean, not necessarily here, but they could be called or Zoomed or something like that remotely and be accessible to us for a designated amount of time. So there's all different kinds of ways that we can structure it without paying the drive time to get here.
Yeah, that's true.
They're remote available.
And I will say you have that.
Yeah.
I'm accessible. If you guys call me,
Well,
I call you back.
might be working on a different city at some point or something like that. I'm saying like they work for us remotely, and like any company, if they hire a remote employee, if they call them up during those hours, you kind of better answer, because if you don't regularly, then you're not going to be a remote employee anymore. So just another way to think of structuring. We have like 3 options,
Yeah.
or at least.
And most of your work is remote, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Drafting
I'm
ordinances
here
and all
for
that.
meetings and
I'm not
everything else.
saying you're not or you're doing anything wrong at all. I'm just saying if we are going to go with an in-house approach, or we're even looking at that, we could look at it from a remote standpoint as well, so that they don't have to be here. You know,
And that's
just
very common right now. Because,
Right,
you know,
sure,
working remotely
absolutely.
is very common.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else before I open up public comment? Public comment. I apologize for the wait, but this is a very
I know.
big subject.
5917 Lantern Court. I'm glad you're all sitting down for this because I agree with you, Eric.
Adjourn.
Wow. Hold on, I got to record that.
And I agree with him for many reasons. Going in-house to one attorney is a great idea when you're going to buy a house. Trask was recommended to us as a very large, very reputable in Florida law firm for city business. Nancy is the one that sits here, but there is a stable of people behind Nancy that she has to support her. A stable of people, and I'm sure, I don't even know the amount of people that work in your office and that you consult with on a daily or weekly basis. And I think by using Trask and Nancy, maybe Nancy doesn't want to work with us. Maybe we'll get Joe Blow that works in the office that wants to come, whatever. But they have the resources that a single attorney does not have. I understand what you're saying by doing due diligence. I get it. But you're not doing due diligence if you keep changing the stable behind you. They don't know the history of what's gone on last week, last month, last year, 2 years ago. They don't have that. Trask has that knowledge, or another large law firm. So I really think sticking with Trask, to be able to use their large resources behind them to support us. Legal is a very, very important issue, as you all know. I mean, they can make or break you. They can cost us millions of dollars, or they can save our butts. And having that stable behind us is very, very important. So I would encourage you to continue to go with Trask. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. Would you like another 3 minutes? I give my time to you.
Wow.
What do you have to say to me, young man?
Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Rob? Wow. I wanted to milk that was for all it was worth.
Okay, you all right? No heart attack? Rob Cameron with the 5800 Queen Mary Avenue. I agree with her 100%.
Oh.
Really. I mean, she's been here 3 years. She pretty much knows how the city works. She knows everyone. Why? Let me give you a cheap example. I've been seeing this girl for 3 years, but I went out there and I looking for a new one. I said, nah, no good. I went back to the old one. She said, nope, no more. I'm gone. You don't want me anymore. You got to give her a chance to negotiate first. Don't go out. Like you said, don't want to advertise, because they find out, oh, yeah, sure, yeah. No, we're not going to adjust our price because it's only going to be 2 weeks, if that, before we get a decision, correct? What's the rush?
Right.
So, I agree with 100%.
Thank you, Rob. Wow, this is it's an emotional moment for me. Oh, I can't wait to go and tell my wife.
I'm just wondering how long it's going to take to deflate that head. I'm just trying to figure that out.
I'm sure right now. So. Hey, your public comment? Danny, you don't want to tell me that you approve my...
I like it. I'm good.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right.
Motion, is this motion or is this the
Well,
discussion?
we had consensus, so we're good. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll report back, and I think Sal has his.
So for clarification, for our next council agenda, because I give everybody deadlines, I'm just trying to make sure we're bringing back a proposed RFP.
So Nancy
and
has
the-
her stuff
and
from
the
her firm that
contract.
they're willing to do, and then you guys prepare something for us to look at and see, what we're going out for. Some information from other cities, just whatever you can give us around city
From both
attorney
of those.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
That cover everything? Clear as mud? Clear as mud?
3 months.
No problem. Are you on that, Sal?
They probably could. They probably could have told us
Probably.
what to do.
We could do that.
Right. We should have just said, Sal.
So we've got obviously city manager contract, and we've got 9 o'clock looming in 9 minutes. I know we got started late because of the CRA meeting, so I need a motion to extend the meeting.
Motion to extend.
Motion to extend the meeting,
I get Christine with the motion. You want to second it?
and I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Past my bedtime. Don't laugh at me, Chris.
Any public comment? You guys are good because the chairs are wonderful, aren't they? All right.
Oh,
Feel free. Feel free. All right. All in favor, say by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next up is item number 8, discussion of interim city manager contract. I'll pass that to our interim city manager for his introduction.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. It's been a pleasure and an honor to serve with good folks here. And we looked at the calendar and realized the 6-month contract was going to be coming up in about 6 or 8 weeks. So I thought it would be a good time to discuss what the city wants to do.
Okay. So with that, I'll start again. Obviously, Andy is here. He's learning things, and he's coming at the end of his time. I think our intent has always been is we're going to find a permanent city manager, and I think we need to start that search, and so we can see what's out there. We can also wait and see if Andy wants to come back with a half price offer for us.
You're having a good night.
He's on a roll. Just want to afford you the same opportunity we give Nancy. So, and I know we had 3 quotes from 3 vendors, all around the tune of $30,000. What I think we should probably do, my opinion is, I know we got quite a few respond to the interim advertisement, and again, those people that respond to interim was for an interim position. So there was really there's probably several candidates that may have been interested, but since it wasn't a permanent, they weren't going to, I'll go there for 6 months and hope, right? So I think starting off, let's attempt to save the $30,000 on a firm and see what we get for a short period of time. And if we get some good qualified candidates, maybe interview them, and we might be able to subvert that $30,000 fee. And if we don't see good candidates come back from that, then we can always invoke one of those firms to go out. And in the meantime, obviously, Andy's here. He's willing to stay as long as necessary, I believe. Is that correct? I'm getting a deer in the headlight look. So
5 years? 5 years?
No, I'm as interested as anyone to see where this is going.
Yeah. And I will say, work with Andy. I'm sure you all as well.
My bed ready. Coming home.
Andy is at least my perception of this. Andy is really excited about the City of Port Richey, even if he doesn't stay or whatever. That I'm sure he's going to keep an eye on us and see where things end up, because we've got a lot of exciting stuff going on. And I know there's a lot
of future ribbon cuttings that I'd like to go to.
Right, yeah, and we will invite you back for sure.
The things that are getting developed here, it's an exciting place to be right now.
And he really cares about the city. And he really cares about staff. And he's been a great interim. It's a tough job, extremely tough job, and especially when you're coming in blind, not having some of that background. And I know he stays. I drive by at 9 o'clock at night. His car's there. So while he does go home on the weekends, we actually probably somewhat fortunate because he's actually busting it well past the 8-hour day here because, his wife's not waiting for him to come home, right? So he's, he's working. So we actually get a little bonus out of Andy, and we really appreciate that, honestly, all the hard work put in. I know it's a monumental task. So, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Let's put out for a permanent city manager ourselves and see what we get. And then, based on how that goes, decide whether there's some in that bunch that we want to entertain interview. And if there's not, then next step would be to put out for a firm to do it more nationwide.
Linda agrees with you on that.
About to find out, I'm sure. So.
How much longer?
There you go.
3 minutes.
How much longer?
Only 3 minutes next time, right?
Looking for help.
How much longer is Andy willing to stay?
A year.
Andy's obviously here for 6 months. I think he said that you would be willing to stay for a year for sure.
Another year?
Yes.
So I think we've got time. Like I said, and what I would say too, as we talk about the other side of this, extending his contract to some degree. I mean, we could go month to month. We could maybe go with 3 months or another 6 months. I think whatever we do, realistically, if we went out today with a firm, you're probably talking about a minimum of 3 months before we would actually have a candidate in place. Maybe more. I think when we did math, it's going to take a little 4 or 5 was.
It's going to take. If we hired a firm like right now, you're probably at a minimum of 6 months between the firm going out nationally searching, then creating the short list, and that short list, then coming to council, then setting up in-person interviews, and then you have to remember there's the contract negotiations that have to happen, and then after that, we have to determine when that person who you select would come down here. So if they're coming from out of state, that's going to take month and a half to set them up. Plus, you probably want to set up some acclimation time between Andy and that new city manager.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is that, moving forward, we have to look at this as even if we put this position out locally, it's going to take quite a bit of time for you to sit there and select the person that you want to do this job. So I think that the most important thing right now is to, because his contract is pretty much up, is to decide how long we want to extend that, and then either if we're going to have it for another year, come back with this conversation again at a later time, within that year, or are we going to do it for 6 months, and then within this new 6 months period, put the position out. So I think that's what council needs to talk about and discuss and provide direction on.
So, obviously, the contract extension is something we're going to have to discuss. I think we need to determine our approach first.
Well,
and then
what I'd like to hear, I mean, I don't mind signing Andy to a 1-year contract, but I'd like to see what would be the best possible scenario for the city was coming from Andy, since he's a professional. He's got the experience in that area.
I would like to see Andy come for a year too. That gives us time.
Right.
If he wants to stay for another year, he's working hard. He's doing a lot. I'd like to see him stay for the year. Sal just ran it through. It's gonna take months anyway.
Not for another year, before another 6 months to take it to a year.
A year, yes.
Or you're saying a year from now, when a contract expires in November.
Right.
November to November.
Right.
So
It sounds like if you want to start looking now, then a 6-month extension would cover us out really well discussed.
At least that.
So it's
At least that. That's if we were to start right now. My recommendation is that at least renew him for another 6 months.
What
If we're
about
looking
6
right
months
now,
with
if we're not,
month-to-month renewal after that?
That's always there.
Yeah.
I got an idea.
If you
Fix
want,
that.
I'm sorry. If you want to wait 6 more months, and then, if you want to do a contract with him for a year, and then, because we do have a lot of projects going on, we have a lot of work that we're getting into right now. But 4 to 6 months go by, then we put that position out at his 6 month mark, and then by the time he gets to a year, then we'll have a new position. So that's the kind of decision that you guys would have
Transition
to
and everything,
transition.
right.
And like I said, there's going to be transition time period. And like I said, it all depends on where we're hiring from. If we do hire a firm, they're going to do a national search. If we do local, like in-house, application, it'll probably just be Florida and see what we can get with that. But it would all depend on what we get. And then once again, we can get several applications, and you may not like any of them. So then, what do we do then? Then we'd have to go back out again. So it's a timely process, however direction you guys want to go. So the most important thing is just how much time do you guys want to buy yourselves, especially with the projects and everything that we have going on, and then with the city manager search.
So I'm pass over just a second. The only thing I want to mention is too, the longer that contract, if best case scenario, let's say we put it out to bid, we find a real couple bang up candidates in a month, and we want to bring them on, then you've got this long contract that you got to deal with where you pay them out or whatever works. So just keep that in mind.
But he just said you're not gonna get a bang up candidates in 2 months.
By
the time you go through
if
the
you talk about the
process.
firm, I'd say if we put it out, I mean, we could have candidates within a month to look at.
Or you could have nobody.
And
then in this next few months, you've got all the holidays going through, all kinds of things, all our projects, everything we're working on. I mean, how fast does 6 months go?
Pretty fast.
6 months goes fast.
I
I'd like to make a motion that we extend Andy's
I'm still
contract for a
talking.
year.
I'll hear the motion. We can.
I started talking and everybody interrupted
get a
me.
chance to answer.
Every single person interrupted me.
You can state your motion. I'll.
I want to make a motion to extend Andy's contract for a year, and then we can look into how we want to move
For a year
forward.
or
For a year.
for a whole year?
Yes, for a year.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion? Chris?
I think his intent when he came here was to be the interim city manager. Andy's done a great job for us. Andy could probably hang out here for another year or two, and that'd be fine too. But I think it's our due diligence to at least see what's out there.
Well, we're going to.
And but here we can do that and still be straightforward and transparent and helpful to Andy by doing a 3 month with a 3 month, and then instead of locking into a whole year.
Why would Andy stay here for 3 months? He knows he's out in 3 months. He's going to be looking.
He might know he's out in 3 months.
He
We
might be
haven't said
gone
he's
in
out
2
in 3
months.
months. We haven't said that. It's just we're not locking ourselves in to. I think locking yourself into a year right now. When he came in as an interim city manager,
I know, but if you're telling him you're here for 3 months, what's he doing tomorrow?
I didn't say he was here.
He's out looking for something else tomorrow.
What about 6 months? Just 6 months and 6 months and.
And we can't get everything. We can't get it. If you want to do it right and
But
get
I mean,
the
we
right
could
person,
renew it in 6
Well,
months.
his first contract is 6
you
months.
can't.
was his
We aren't going to
contract.
get We aren't going to get it done in 6 months.
But then we just extend it for another 6 months. And but if we did get it done, then we don't
Hey,
owe
Andy,
him for
just sit
6
there
months.
until we're done deciding. How's that? Because you've got to
Well,
give him a time frame. That's not fair.
We could do 6 months and then we could renew it for 3 months if we
So-
do have somebody,
so-
or with 6 months
Yeah,
if we
so
don't.
I have a problem with a year, not because I don't know, maybe Andy's here, right? And I don't think Andy's necessarily going to go anywhere. That's too long, though. If we do find somebody, you can't be locked in and have to pay him out another 7-8 months of contract because we found somebody. So I think it's, at a max, my standpoint would be 6 months, and we can always, within a couple months of that,
I'm
we can
telling
always
you, this from my experience, which is very minimal, but we start looking now, and we start looking at people in a month or two. He's going to be here for 6 to 9 months.
Okay.
If we start doing it now.
Unless we find the right person.
So, in my experience, when we did it last time with Firm, we was it June or July? I think we started, and Matt was here November 1st. So
4 months in.
I can't remember exactly. I have to look up his contract and find out the day it started.
That's fairly accurate. So
And
there's really, if we start
you left in
today,
a year and a half.
unless we don't find candidates, you're going to have somebody.
Andy's
else
good
6
till
months.
November right now. Is that right? Through November?
That's right.
I think it's the last day of November.
Okay, so we're basically December 1. January, February, March. That puts us 4 months. If we do a 3 month with a 3 month renewal with a 3 month renewal. There's nothing wrong with he came here as a part-time. We didn't hire him as a full-time.
He didn't come here for 3 months.
He came here
for
as interim
6.
city manager.
Right. He came for 6. Who's coming for 3? I wouldn't come for 3. Say no, Andy. I would.
Any other comments? Do you have any comments you want to
I think 6 month renewal sounds like you'll have somebody great within 6 months. So that sounds fair to a good balance. 3 months, I've got to put my resume out tomorrow, which I haven't looked anywhere. I'm focused totally on here. But to be fair, 3 to 6 months, I need to start hanging my resume out again.
Yeah, and I could make a case for the 6 months. Just the fact that the more time that we have overlap, if we did have somebody, the better. I mean, there's plenty of work to do. So,
But Andy's saying that 3 or 6 months he's looking.
What
I
about
said
a
3.
9-month contract? Compromise, do a 9
Did you? Is that what you said, Andy? I'm just trying to be real. Is it?
Yeah, yes, sir. But I mean, it's I gotta start thinking what's next.
6 months isn't that long off.
If it's 3 months, it takes a while to get hired. So I'd have to start immediately. If 6 months, I think I wait till after the holidays and then I can start.
so are you saying 6 months is a good?
I can't dictate to y'all, but 6
We're
months.
trying to
We're trying to
get what
communicate with
how you feel about it.
6 months sounds very fair. 3 months sounds pretty rushed.
I'd be good with 6 months.
Would you be happier with a year?
No, I
Would
don't
you
want
be
to. I don't want
happy
to push.
with 9 months?
I want to be what I can be for the city while I'm here.
And you've been that since you've been here, Andy. We love you for it. Thank you so much. I
It's
mean
great.
that.
I mean it. It's a great place to be for me at this point in my life. It's just been professionally rewarding and personally met some great people. But I'm kind of reading the tea leaves, and I'm thinking 6 months seems fair for the city to get ready to move on to their next permanent guy, and it seems fair to me to get through the holidays and not have to worry about job hunting until the calendar changes over.
So that being said, I got a motion on the floor for a year and a second. Do you guys want to move forward with the vote, or do you want to amend your motion?
I still think it's going to take a while. If he's happy to go with 6 months, then 6 months with the month to month, because I still think it's going to take longer.
Yeah, and that's say when we get 2 months outside that 6 months, that we right back here again.
You're okay
We
with
can
6
take our
months?
time, make sure we get the right guy that's gonna stay here, and that may take more than 6 months, maybe not, but yeah, we can extend
Do
it.
6 months on that.
You okay with that?
Colin?
I am. I just, I think he's done well. I know he's working on so many projects, and I think he's done a good job, and I surely don't want to rush him after all that he's done for us.
I don't want to rush him either, but what I do want us to think about is we have a couple jobs here. I want us to make sure we got the right lawyer.
I agree.
Make sure we have the right city manager. And Andy has been more than a great interim city manager for us. He's been awesome. Staff loves him.
But
Everybody gets on.
we need enough time to find
I
the
think
right person.
I think we just came to a happy medium. I think 6 months with the month.
I'll put it to a vote if you want. I just need to know if you
She's okay with it. Andy was okay with it. She just said it.
What I need to amend the motion to 6 months if you're going to do that, or leave. We can put a vote if you want.
Vote. Put it to a vote.
Okay. Is there any public comment?
Let's see what happens.
Get my steps in today.
I still think it's going to take a while. If I didn't see 6 months with
My comment is about whether you go just local, you guys put it out, or put it out to the firm. I forgot what was the firm? How much is that? 30,000?
30. They were all three a little different, but they were all around
32
that.
something.
30, maybe a little higher.
Between 30 and 40.
Okay. I think that is the center of the wheel, that job. That is the center of the wheel. If that center is weak, we are in deep trouble. When we went with Matt and we went with the firm, they went nationally and they pre-interview them and they do all the background searches. So they cut a lot of people out of that before it even gets to you guys. If you just put it out, that you're putting all that work onto the staff that is not really, they don't do that for a living. They don't do all that background search, all the legal, criminal background, all that stuff. That is such an important job, and I know we've changed city managers, every 2 years or so.
Every 2-3 years.
We want to keep them longer, and I think you're doing the city a disservice by just putting it out yourselves and not going with the firm. That's my opinion. I think we need to go nationally. Maybe somebody from California, Oregon, Illinois, Texas, Alaska, who the heck knows, that will fit our city perfectly. But if you just put it out around here or put it out in a national thing, not everybody sees that.
We did that last time, and there was a lot of unqualified people. I agree.
A lot of qualified people came out, but a lot of unqualified people applied and didn't get through.
Right.
They do a really good job. So whatever company we use, choose to use a company,
And
they will do all that basic, and then you will get the cream of the crop. You won't have to go through all the muck. You'll get the cream of the crop, and you'll be able to choose from the cream of the crop. That is the position. You guys all change every 3 years. You know that. I changed after 3 years. Who knows who will be here? That position should stay longer, and that is what's going to keep all the projects that you want to keep running. That position was the one that's going to keep it running, and we need to have the best of the best, and we need to do that. And I think a national search would be best for the city.
Thank you. Anyone else? Rod?
Rob Cameron, 5800 Queen Avenue. Just kind of put a period on that. Andy says 6 months. I should be 6 months. I mean, is there a month-to-month option? Is that what I heard also?
What he said, yes, sir.
So, I mean, that'd be perfect. He doesn't want to be here a year. He was only hired for 6 months. And put the national search out now.
Yeah.
6 months, put your search out now. Should be plenty of time. Sal was sitting there almost 6 months, I think, so. Right, see. My thought.
Thanks, Rob. Anybody else? Only one more? No? Okay. With that, so the motion on the table we're going to vote on is for contract extension for a year, which would take it out to November of 26. Right?
Then in November.
Yeah,
I
because
thought they were amending that.
no, it's that they want to vote. Okay. So just so we're clear on the vote, and I'm going to do a roll call vote on that.
Councilwoman Sullivan, what is your vote?
Nay.
Councilwoman Lisa Burke, what is your vote?
Yay.
Councilman Robert Hubbard, what is your vote?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Chris Mayer, what is your vote?
Nay.
Mayor Hoover, your vote?
Nay. So that motion dies. So entertain another motion.
Make a motion, we extend Andy's contract for 6 months with month-to-month thereafter.
Okay.
Second.
That motion second. Any further discussion?
Who seconded? I'm sorry.
Christine. Any public comment?
She does.
Sorry.
When I'm on Zoom, I can't hear you.
Okay, and so obviously the terms of which, this is just the agree on a time frame, this motion, then we'll have to dig a little deeper into that for any terms or whatever, but so the vote is for 6 months, contract extension month to month. But the vote, I do a roll call vote on that as well.
Councilwoman Sullivan, what is your vote?
Yay.
Councilwoman Burke, what is your vote?
Yay.
Councilman Hubbard, what is your vote?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Mayer, your vote?
Yay.
Mayor Hoover, your vote?
Yeah, that motion carries unanimously. Okay, so that's the extensions out of the way. Is there, on that contract, do we need to, probably next meeting, we would probably negotiate that contract?
You could. In the past, we have also, council has appointed a council person to be the point for negotiations with the, at that point, incoming city manager. So you could do that, and then that council person to come back to you and report back, or you can do it live and in person next meeting when, if Andy's ready to discuss it.
Yeah, I know we've done that in the past, and when we did Andy, we actually did it all together in public. Everybody kind of had input into it. I'm okay with either way. I did kind of like that everybody was here to talk about that. You guys want to do that again? Just set it for the next meeting to discuss that contract, or do you want?
I'll personally be out for medical.
That's true.
Oh, that's right. Are you ready to talk about it now?
I'd like to wait till I come back if we could.
Well,
I'm happy to wait.
well, you know, it's going to be 6 months, and then obviously, is it wait to get back? Does it work?
I'm happy to wait till I can.
Okay. Well,
And
so
then Rob's out also, so wait till
yeah,
he gets
so
back as well.
yeah, we'll just wait till everybody can be here, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, and we won't go past November,
I
I
was
guess.
gonna
will
ask you, when my computer has died, when
I
does
think
your?
November 28th.
November
It
25th.
Okay, then there's time.
said the
Yeah.
25th. I thought it had been the 28th, but whatever it is,
So
I'll be back.
We'll be back for the second council meeting of October 21st.
I hope.
I'm sorry. Oops, sorry.
I hope to be back by the 12th, but it's
November
I'm not
18th.
cleared to drive yet. So, but I'll definitely be here for the 18th.
So if we,
No.
Oh, it's the 20.
November 12th
It's the
and
20,
November 25th.
25th.
huh?
Yes.
November 4th and 18th.
No, that's
No.
that's
The
choppers.
second meeting, second and fourth.
Oh, you're right. 11th and 25th.
Oh, 12th and 25th.
The 12th.
Oh, 12th. Okay.
12th and
If I'm cleared
25th.
to
12th
drive-
and 25th. Thank you. Well, that's a funny month.
I'll
If
come,
I'm cleared to drive on the 10th, I can be here for the 12th.
I'll come pick you up.
Thank you.
So we could do it on the 12th, and that would give us enough because your contract goes till the 28th. You think?
I won't be back till
28th, but
Like I
it's
say, when he won't be here.
I won't be here till the 25th.
we can relook at my.
You can't do a
start
remote.
date.
You don't be here remote, or
I guess I could. I'd rather be here. But
Will you be here for the first December one? Can we do it after that or no?
well, we have to extend month to month.
It would be better to get it done before then.
Okay.
So it's done.
Well, the 25th is.
Yes. I mean, you did it in like 10
We
minutes.
can- we
and
can-
you hired him.
well, you just
I
gotta-
think the 25th, as long as we can all be here.
You got to draft it, and we got to sign it and everything.
Because we have the draft of what he used last time. We just need to plug in the whatever terms are decided, and we can do it. We did it quickly last time.
It won't be
That's
dramatically different.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Well, you know, it depends on what you done. Unless you're going to give him a big deal.
Andy, what do you think about that big deal? Okay. Yeah, taking a lot of time off.
So I wasn't here last time when you guys negotiated his contract.
You weren't?
No, I was zooming and I was
Oh,
yelling, "Shut
that's
up!"
right.
and no one listened to me. So I want to be here this time.
25th, I'm good with that.
Okay.
So we'll negotiate the terms of that, if any, on 25th. Question?
25th.
25th.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, appreciate you, buddy.
Now, the other side of this is preparing to go to a search firm or in-house for a short period of time to see. What's y'all's thoughts on that?
Firm.
Here's what I think. I think we have time. Okay, so I think for a short period, we and local's not local anymore. It's just like saying, "Oh, your phone's on your wall." No, it's not. Everybody gets the message when you put it out there and advertise it. I think we don't spend the 30 grand up front. We just fish, figure out what we get. If we don't like what we get, we just go out to a firm. But we have time. I think we give it about 90 days to see what we get locally without spending 30 grand of the taxpayers' money. And if that doesn't work, then we go out long term. That's what I think.
Okay. And on that same token, the a lot of Florida League of Cities, they have jobs out there, those city managers. So there's you in-house. Now and I'm gonna agree with Linda on the value of a search firm.
Now, y'all, this is getting a little bit rough. You and Linda agree so much. Something's going on here.
I owe Linda a little love, so I'm gonna give it to her.
I saw coercion here.
And so I'm coming from a level of experience here because I had, if you remember back, I mentioned the same thing, and I will say, as we went through that process, I saw its value afterwards. Okay, so there is value in it. I still. I can't love you too much. I still think a very short period of time just to see what's around here locally or whatever is not going to hurt anything. And again, staff is not going to be able to do that. And I don't necessarily have that expectation. We do have a full-time HR person that's what she does. So I think we have the capability to do that. We did it for the interim. So maybe not 90 days. I think we could put it out there and just see in 30 to 45 days what we have come back, and then make a decision at that point to move forward or not, or to see if we want to interview. And if we could save $30,000, I don't see any reason we shouldn't try to do that. And I think there's probably some interest in the area. And I will also say, too, that there's been several city manager positions searched for a while. I know Dade City had an extremely hard time, and they used a search firm, maybe even twice. So just because you have that search firm doesn't mean you're going to get necessarily good candidates. You're going to cast a wide net, and it's not going to be not wide if we do it in house because again, you put it on the right things. Indeed, what we did last time, all the different places. The city managers are watching those places. They're not just looking at the firms, right? So I don't think you're going to hurt anything by trying it and see. Again, it's due diligence. You can always hire a firm. You can always spend $30,000. And if we do spend $30,000, they will do a fantastic job for sure.
So 60 days to search.
We're not in a hurry. I mean, Andy will hang out longer than 6 months of it takes. I'm not in a hurry either. So yeah, I agree with Chris. There's no sense in rushing through the case to spend a bunch of money. We might find someone that works out perfect.
So do we agree on 90 days before we go out?
Yeah, I think 90 days would be.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so your motion that we do immediate search for permanent city manager.
Yeah, we don't just do Florida. We just put it out there.
Well, yeah, no, it's out there, and that
for 90 days. Yeah, see what happens. If we don't find something in 90 days, then we go for the big firm.
It's less 3 months. So you just want to do that?
Good for 3 months.
90 days is 3 months. Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, motion second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Okay. I put it to vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Question?
Do we want to set the parameters now for salary and benefits for this job description as we posted out?
Great question. What what's the range that we should put on there?
I don't know. Do we have to put a price? I mean, they
Well,
have to
people-
put up what they want.
They're gonna wanna know.
Okay, well, perimeter, I guess, between 140, 160.
But I wouldn't necessarily say a low end. I just say top end.
I mean, Newport Richey, she's 130,000.
She's 150, I believe.
What would make you go for it, Andy?
If you saw the ad, what would make
What
you?
kind of ranger? Yeah, what should we put out in this?
I think anything under 140 would probably would get a lot of people looking. But it doesn't need to be 200.
Yeah, I can tell you when Dade City went out the second time, they put theirs up to 180, I believe. And just for clarification purposes, I'll come back to you. Matt's all in. He was at 130 or 135?
130.
130, and his all in with benefits and everything with the retirement was 220. Is that correct?
He had $90,000 in extra stuff that wasn't on the original.
Yes.
I believe that's correct.
How's that happen? Is that just normal?
FRS is a big portion.
Yeah, I think we're paying 40% to his FRS. That's a city mandated FRS, a city manager mandated FRS. We're not paying that. That's what we were talking about with Andy. We paid him the 13% instead of the 42 or 45.
Let me ask you this: that we was able to do that for the interim. Are we able to do that for a permanent? Is that negotiable, or is that?
That's always negotiable.
I can look it up. I have a book in there, but we could probably. I'll have to check before I say yes or no.
And what we budgeted for the year?
We budgeted
That's probably an
his.
important part.
We budgeted his salary at 157 times the 13%. So we'd have to build into that somewhere out of our reserves or something to cover that.
Because we're probably about what, 210?
Yeah, well, we're a little higher than that. I don't know the exact number.
I think. Okay.
Hang on one second. I can tell you exactly.
I also didn't take the healthcare here.
Right.
Right, the healthcare. So that's. I think he's below that. And also, that's not an option. But I don't know about the retirement. So that's something to check into. And the reason I say I just want to make sure that when we say what that top range is, that we're taking it all in consideration because it's going to be.
The top range, you want us to come up with the numbers, including all the stuff they're adding to it? Or
Well,
just-
you need to keep those in mind when you set the top range of salary because there's going to be another 90 grand on top of it, or even more.
Well, 90 grand because we did 40. Unless he's union, you don't have to pay him any. You can pay him what you agree upon.
Yeah, it's negotiable.
It's all negotiable.
Exactly.
You don't just throw up.
Well, the FRS is for instance, we established that FRS hierarchy with them. Now, I don't know about going down on that, but I know going up on it, you can't do.
Right now, all in for Andy is 238, 432.
Holy cow!
Didn't you apply for a city manager's position?
Wow.
Well, that's with everything, the benefits and all that good stuff.
That's before taxes, obviously.
We don't have any benefits.
Well, his, well, I built in his benefits just in case.
Oh,
so
okay.
he's got,
Okay.
so his health insurance
All
is
right.
in here and stuff like that. But that's
His all in, if he had benefits, would have been 238.
Still a bargain.
Now that makes sense because I know Matt was at 220 or something with benefits.
Yeah, he only gets the FRS, and that's at 13%. And then, but what is built in here on this 238 is his health insurance.
Okay. So yeah,
So we put in 140, 180, and if they mention FRS, fine, which would be part of the negotiation. But
We're gonna want
I'm just talking about base salary is what you can post.
We're required to do FRS. So
You have to post it though.
yeah. So
Mr. Mayor, whenever you're ready, let me talk.
I will verify what we have to pay him.
the chair has been asked for some comments.
This is the vice chair.
Huh?
This is the vice chair.
I'm the chair.
Oh,
The chair has been asked for time, so take it. Now the
You
vice
ready?
chair can talk.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I think we need to have somebody sitting in that seat eventually, Andy, that has Matt's skills without his quirkiness, with a little bit of like personality, somebody can really control the room kind of thing versus sit there quietly. I love Matt, but there was things about Matt that I thought we could get real better with. And that was people skills. Andy's got some people skills, but Matt had some mad back end skills. So we need that right person, and that right person's not going to come cheap. But if we get the right person, it's going to alleviate this constant jumping that we're doing. If we get the wrong person and we go in there, oh, we're going to do like this. If you do that and you get the wrong person, you'll constantly be searching for that person. And it's expensive to search for that person.
What do you want to put in there then?
I think up to $180,000 is what we put in there.
Okay.
What's the all in for 180? And why he's looking that up with benefits and do the FRS?
Well, we don't have to give all that to him.
180,000 doesn't
you
buy
do, according to him. That's what I'm saying. Now you're looking at $300,000 almost.
And
With
180,000
benefits,
doesn't buy you
FRS.
personality.
180 grand's gonna get somebody's
It ain't gonna buy
attention.
you
I'll
a
tell you that right now.
personality.
Well, so while he's looking that up, the couple things keep in mind. If you put that range out there, you're going to get candidates that would accept that range, right? And they're going to ask for it. So,
but if you don't put it, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I don't think you're necessarily bound to the range you advertise. So let's say that we had it at 150, just for easy figure purposes, and we found the right candidate, and he wants more, we go above that.
Just your parameters, and you can negotiate.
But if you put that bar there, and I'll give you an example. I apply for jobs all the time, and I apply for jobs under what I would expect. And what I would expect if I get pulled into there, anybody else would too, is that that's their top range. But they may have some wiggle room in there, so I don't preclude myself just because that's salary. So what I'm saying is you may get that $180,000 candidate. Why shake your head?
Because I hire people all the time. And I'm telling you, you may apply for all the time, but I hire people. You say up to $180,000.
But that's a theoretical ceiling. For the right person, people know that, again, what I'm saying, if you had it at 160, somebody wants 180, would he not apply for that? Maybe, maybe not. But he might apply for it, and we realize that he comes back and said, I know you said top end 160, but you see what I bring to the table. I'd really like 170. We could do that. So I don't. But what I will say is if you put it up there, they know you're willing to write that check out. So I don't. And again, let me give you this information too. So when Matt had his announcement, I asked him. I said, Matt, is this about money? Because I'll be honest with you, I was on Matt every day that I talked to him. You need to get to us with your evaluation so we can adjust your pay. You're doing a great job. I said,
I kind of disagree with that.
Disagree with what?
What you're saying.
What part?
Most of it. Like Chris was saying, you put out a range $140,000, $180,000 plus FRS, but you put that in there. You guys really want to work here, maybe a young guy with some good experience, a very sharp guy like Andy. He may come in and say, I'll do this for $140,000 because he really wants this job. Mm-hmm. Knowing that other guys are going to want $180,000, but he'll say, I'll do it for $140,000. If you give me a certain percentage every year in a raise, I'll stay here for 5 years, maybe longer.
Right.
They will do that.
Well, so I know what you're saying. You're just for the first part. Let me finish my second part.
I'm sorry.
Because I'm just regurgitating information you can't disagree with because it's fact. So
well, not everybody's going to ask for $180,000.
So I'm just going to use Matt as an example because I'm very familiar with that, and this is
right.
words he said to me. Okay, I'm just sharing this. Okay, maybe it doesn't have any value. I just want to share that to you. So when Matt came here, and the other candidates as well, there was some big high salaries for some of those other. And matter of fact, the front runner that came out before we had them in house, they were making 200 some plus somewhere. But on paper that looked like the best candidate, right? Then was the interview process or whatever. And I know for a fact that Matt took the pay that he was getting a lot lower than what he would have wanted, and that factors into him obviously moving forward for money later on. But when I had the conversation with him, when he told me that he got this offer, he was leaving. I told him, I said, what if it was about money, which it wasn't about money to Matt. But what he said was, and I think this is important to know, and I want to say I think it was the 180 mark. I can't remember what his salary actually was, but when I asked him, I said, well, we could go back and see, because obviously we've had you here a year, we can see what the council could do. And he flat out said, so he can't afford that. And so it wasn't even, it was a non-starter. And this is the center of the hub, the city manager telling us what we could afford. And he, so he's just, he didn't even ask for that.
He's with his benefits. He's making well over 300,000, and he's got an assistant town manager as well.
Right. So I get what you're saying, Chris, and I agree. It's the most important position outside of the city attorney. In order to get the right person, money is going to draw that in. But we also got to keep in mind we have a fiduciary responsibility, and it's very difficult for us to. We don't want to be city manager poor either, because we've got a lot of things that we got to take care of. We've got failing infrastructure. I mean, we're working on that. We're working on all these different things. And so what I would, going back to my thing that Bob disagreed with, is if the candidate looks at the potential, we can adjust salaries every year, right? And we can make significant jumps. I had told Matt, my initial thing, hey, I want to give you 10 grand. I'll take that back to council. Just get us your evaluation, whatever. And Matt, I'll share this with you too. He stated that, I wouldn't want to do that because that's me and the staff isn't following along with it. So, these are things that to keep in mind. So, and this is coming from Matt, who I respect a whole hell of a lot. And so what I don't want to do is I don't want to put a number out there that we are going to put ourselves in a bad situation. Not to say we wouldn't necessarily go with something even higher than the number put out there, but I'd like to see what we get at I think 150, I could even go maybe a little higher than that and see. And then
you can put plus FRS and plus incentives. I mean, whatever.
And we can fluctuate on salary if we're able to take FRS down. That's not important to somebody.
In order to keep someone here, I mean, like I said, if someone wants to come in, they'll work $140,000 and they'll prove that they want to stay here. Then we can give them a $10,000 raise in 6 months. That can be in the contract. Well, if you suit our needs, we're going to pay you more money in 6 months, and after 6 months, we might give you another raise. That gives them incentive to stay, without coming out with a whole bunch of money up front and going through the transition with Andy, and then in a year they decide to quit and go, we're at another stepping stone, which happens a lot, which I'm sick of. So yes. I want to get someone that's going to stay, and some incentives may help with that. But like I said, if they really want to work here, they may not just look. I'll prove myself. Hire me $140,000. I'll start and I'll prove myself, and then if I do work out where you want it, and I want to raise in a year or something, whatever it is,
yeah, and we can
do that.
We
you
can
have more flexibility when you start lower.
Yeah. We could also, time off is important, right? So we could maybe make up for it on time off as well.
Right.
So
yep.
So I think there's just negotiation. I just don't want to lock us into this big salary that we really can't afford.
Right. Because if you're willing to give them $180,000, which comes about $280,000 after FRS and incentives, and then they're going to want another 20% after their contract's up in a year.
So what? So give me your top end number. 180. Is that what you said?
You don't have to pay 180. What if you get a rock star? What if a guy comes in here as a rock star or her, whatever?
Well, this just for the announcement. Whatever can. So this. We got to, in order to put it down, we got to have some kind
of. What did we go with last time when Andy was hired? Do you remember, Sal?
No, because it was negotiated.
Do you remember?
I think it was 130, wasn't it?
No, interim was a little different scenario. So when we went with Matt, I don't remember what the range was there either, but
there was different circumstances.
I think it went to 140 maybe.
It was different on interim because some candidates.
Was it 140 top end?
Yeah, I think we upped it because it wasn't a full-time position, and plus we were talking about not incorporating benefits or negotiating FRS. So
right,
that's we made the ceiling higher at that time. But that's because
I'm just thinking this. Here's what I'm thinking. I don't want to waste any taxpayer dollars at all. But again, I don't want to waste any taxpayer dollars. Okay, I don't want to continue to do this thing every few years till we're just blue in the face and can't stand it. Because it's not financially responsible for us to continue to go through it. I think if you're going to fish, you got to go to the bait shop. You got to buy shrimp, right? You buy the good stuff. You can't buy the cheap stuff. So if we're going to go fish for the right person, we got to fish the right bait. So we say up to this amount here. When they come in,
Right.
you know, and we don't find that perfect person that we like, that we all get along with, they're charismatic, they're like that, blah, 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 then you start them out at a different place and see what they can do. You don't have to give them what you say.
Oh, absolutely not.
Why don't you say starting at instead of up to? Why don't you say
Because up to sounds better, brings in more fish. That's why.
Well, yeah, starting really doesn't matter. I mean, if people care what's the max I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah. Are you a rock star? If you're a rock star and you can help us grow this city and you're going to stick around for 6 or 8 years or
They'll
whatever.
earn their money.
And, you know, we may find somebody that looks like they got a lot of potential, whatever, and we can actually pay them lower because they don't have the experience. And so we obviously they're not going to
That's
command
what
the
I'm
top dollar.
Yeah, up to.
So what is it up to? That's what I'm trying to get. What's
I
your up
told
to?
you what I thought.
180, is that what it?
That's what I thought.
What's your up to?
If you're going to fish for the right person,
150, what's your up to?
I'd say 140, 160. But
What's your up to?
160, 165.
So if I average those, we're probably about 150.
I'm okay with 160. I'm okay with 160. But I think you got to do a wow number to get the right person.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. I make a motion. We put the number at 160 plus.
160 plus.
The FRS and all that other stuff.
You don't normally normally put that in the
Okay,
application.
fine.
That's something you can negotiate later.
Up to 160.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Oh,
She
that's
did.
Christine second. You're close, Bob. Next time.
Past my bedtime.
Any public comment?
At 165.
Okay. All right. So we got a motion
You're
for
watching too much TV.
160. Any further discussion? I'll put the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We forgot to ask Adam.
We can afford 160. I put enough money in there to.
That's a great example of like us doing something, approving something that's already been paid to consent agenda. So that's what it feels like.
Hey, Adam, touche, buddy.
Should ask him first. Yeah.
I love you, brother. All right. Do we need anything else, Sal, for that to go?
No.
Can I say one thing?
Thank you.
Don't
Sure.
ask any more.
I would like to say, Andy and Nancy, you guys have been pivotal to where we are. But as a city council, we're responsible to the voters to make sure we look at least for the best options. And if we didn't do that, they should not reelect us. They should take us out.
You're spot on. And
I think we did good with Matt and Andy. Andy's going to be hard to replace.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very knowledgeable. A lot of
Andy's been
experience.
a godsend to us where we are right
He is.
now.
He's
and
got
he's
a
done
lot of
a lot
experience.
for us. He's going to be here for another 6 months plus.
And he's just now getting to know everybody around here, who to contact. So it's just starting to roll, starting to gel. So it's going to be hard to replace.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So with that, we will move on to comments for the mayor and city council. I will start. Let's start with
Absolutely nothing to say.
Councilman Burke. Nothing at all.
Nothing to say.
Okay. Let's jump over here to Councilwoman. No, wait. Huh? Oh, you said. Ashley.
Old business, I apologize, it's not on the cover page, but you do have old business attached to the agenda.
Does that normally come before comments?
Normally you do old business, then comments.
Okay. Let me. Since we just started, let's back up. So old business. Is there any old business? Bob, I think you said
Sorry.
old business. No, thank you. That's.
Yeah, I had
I'm just
a couple
following the
things
agenda.
real quick.
Sorry. Spreadsheet is attached.
Yeah, it is there.
It's not on the cover page.
Can you share my screen at all? So hopefully it'll come up.
I don't think it fully ends. It's connecting to audio up here.
I do appreciate the new screen, by the way.
Your taxpayers at work, or your tax dollars at work.
I appreciate it.
Should be on there.
There you go. Now you're in. I'll share.
The one below it?
Sure. Okay. All right. So I was still not up there. Maybe it's coming. There it is. So I was looking at the different things we could do at Waterfront Park, and I was looking at the trustee contract, the do's and don'ts, and there's a whole lot of don'ts. And as far as dredging and docks and stuff like that, and also one specific thing in there it said was no amphitheaters, which we were really counting and looking at doing over there. So
let me correct you there. And I'll give you time back, but I just want to make sure you have the right information. So I watched CAC. I know you brought some things up, and so I'll say I've had conversations with Sal, myself, and FCT, and so and actually let me read this, and I got clarification from a rep. So if you engage, and after I watched the meeting, I specifically talked about the amphitheater. There's other things, but I specifically talked about the amphitheater because that was one thing that we had talked about before with them, and I was understanding that was good. And so if you engage with AI on the FCT properties and amphitheater, it's no. It's more of an active, not a passive activity or whatever. Then I went out to the FCT site, and I'm going to share something with you.
Well, hang on. This is kind of irrelevant to that.
Well, I'll come back to that then.
Okay. So as my colleague Chris said, sometimes you got to think outside the box. Sometimes you come up with something better. Mm-hmm. Even if we could put an amphitheater out there, I think I come up with something even better. Okay. Whether or not you can or not, this is something that's definitely a can do. So you want to have a concert at Waterfront Park. You just imagine kids are playing on the splash pad, and the parents are sitting there listening to good music. You got the food trucks and ice cream trucks, and have a summer fest. We have the fireworks on Sunday at the end of the week. The next day, when all said and done, everything's all put away, and just like it was before. Nothing happened here. It's just like it was the week before the festival. So you want to have a Christmas festival the whole month of December. So you close boat ramp 5:30, 6 o'clock. You roll this thing in there. You set it up. You can have Christmas plays, Christmas shows, music, whatever, right there at Nick's Park, right there in the landings. And here's a real good kicker. What if you have the observation deck, the fish camp out there at Brasher Park with the observation deck and the deck, you walk around the boardwalk and everything, and someone wants to have a wedding out there, they want to have a band, you can roll this out there. Just imagine you can have a wedding, you want to book that still house for a wedding, you can have a band there with 200 of your friends and relatives, and that would be an experience like no other. That's definitely a possibility, and right now Pasco County Tourism with Paradise Marketing would market it as the most memorable wedding venue on the west coast of Florida, if you had something like that. Another nice thing with this being it's so versatile, if we're not using it, you can rent it out. Say San Antonio is having their rattlesnake roundup for a week. Take this out there, $10,000, they rent it for a week, as well as a band, as well as a school or a church. As long as we're not using it, we can monetize it and we can rent it out. And it costs less than half as an amphitheater. So I was going to play this, and you can kind of see, I don't know if it's got the sound or not. No. Well, we can look at it anyway, see what the sound is. Connected, so it's connected. So you got electric motor 110, and you've got a gas motor. You can plug it in and use the hydraulics, or you can use a gas motor if you don't have power. You can put this up anywhere you want. You got hydraulics to lift it and level it, all automatic. Slow motion. I don't know why it's not playing audio, but
What is he talking in the background about or something?
yeah, well, you're playing. They got 8,000-pound adjustable legs here for support. They make stages all over the place. That Kenny Chesney, Madonna, a lot of they make them as big as carried by semi. I mean, they do a lot. They just sent 3 to Broward County. And that is where you can hang speakers. That comes with that. Very easy to set. One guy can set it up in 45 minutes. It has sections. You can buy extra floor sections so you can make the stage larger. You got a net in the back. If you want putting a net in the back, you've got another bar for more lights. You can hang lights. You can put more lights up there if you want. But this whole package right now, just the way it sits, a half-ton truck can pull it with a 2 5/16 ball. They make these in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Delivered. They can deliver it here and show the staff how to break it up and set it down. There's extra floors for $167,200.
That's great.
And you can rent that out, like I said, for $10,000 a week when we're not using it. But it's very versatile. I mean, you can have music out of Brasher Park, not just at the waterfront park.
You move it around.
And you can put it at Nick's Park. And like I said, you don't have to get permission. Roll it out there, use it, and put it away when you're done. And that leaves Waterfront Park is more versatile as well.
What about leasing one when we need one? Since we could lease ours out, maybe we could lease one when we need one.
Yeah, they
find
only-
out where they're locally
Bike
leasable.
Fest, they just somebody
Yeah.
they lease
You
that one out.
can, but and at the same time, it may not be available.
Right.
True.
So if like I said, if you have a band that wants to perform here for a wedding, we can't. Oh, we can get it on short notice. Well, we have it. You know. So what I would like to do is for Andy. Reason I'm bringing this up is for Andy to get a package on that, what the accessories are and what they cost. I've got the numbers, the guy to contact, phone number, and everything. And you want to put together a package maybe for the next meeting. Very simple. He'll send you a list. You know, you got to bring the list to us, and we can.
Is there any objections to
this for till the next meeting?
Is there any,
And the thing is, it's a year out. If we order it now, it's a year before we get it.
What's the warranty
they're
on
busy.
it? How long does it last?
Well, they got there's not much maintenance on it, but it's a 1-year warranty on everything.
It's in the budget.
Well, you got a year to pay for it because they don't want any money down. No, they just want a work order, and then you don't have to pay anything until a year until they deliver it.
so is there any objection to at least getting a cost?
Did you say it was 167,000?
Well, that's 160. It's 167,200 to deliver it and to do a demonstration, explain to everybody, and for support if someone has support if something goes wrong or whatever. So
It's all there's not different sizes. Just one.
they have different sizes. They have some big. They have someone that take a gooseneck like a fifth wheel hips, and then they got semi truck size stages.
Well, it's 160-some thousand. What size is this?
This is 2016. It's 20 by 16. But you got floor sections. You can make it bigger, the stage part bigger. But this size looks perfect for us as far as I can see. And it's easy to tow around. Any of our trucks can tow it around.
So what do you want Andy to look into?
Huh?
What do you want Andy to look into?
I just wanted him to just get up there's a lot of accessories for this. And you can look at the different accessories on that. If I can close this out. Optional equipment. There's some of the pictures of it.
And honestly, there's probably other companies that sell these too. So I guess there's other. You want to compare prices?
There really isn't. There are some that make it look. They have like a utility trailer where it folds up, and then it's kind of cramped, and they're like 130, 140,000. So this was a professional stage. I looked at the others. There was also like flatbed with no sides or top, and it was almost as much as that one was.
Okay.
So I said for the money, and this is why it's a year out because they're it pretty much for professional stages. This is not This is not rinky dink. This is professional stage.
So, question?
But it looks like a pretty awesome piece of equipment. But we have Waterfront Park. We have, yes, ma'am. We have the absolute crown jewel of the entire area.
And we got Pressure Park too.
Well, then maybe down the road we'll do something where we can go in that abrasion. But I think our crown jewel down there needs to be something absolutely stunning. I love the splash pad thing going on there, but we need to design and build. I think you just said there's some more abilities that we can do. You said that they do allow.
Yeah, and I'll get that during my comments.
Yeah, I think we need to invest into that park and to really make a place where people want to come and they have venues, concerts, and all those things, and hang out with their kids and have fun there and all that. It's such a beautiful park to not give it what it really deserves. And what we need to do in our generation is change what we have down there to really be something that's a destination spot. It's not going to be something that comes and goes with the wind. It's going to be a solid structure that stays and is there for decades to come.
Any other comments?
How much is that going to cost?
I'm not gonna look at how much it's going to cost. I'm going to look at what we need to get this community off the ground. And what we need is something that's special down there. We need to be able to bring in, venues. At least this is your place. I don't know. Bring in some real talent to this area to bring in people that want to come to spend money down here at shows that you can advertise that bring in 1,000 people. Maybe a couple thousand people. Where they're sitting out there on their, their lawn blankets and there's some kind of shade over it. But you got a big stage, you got bathrooms, and you got concessions, and you got all that stuff.
It'll be something special and something different, but that's all planning. That's all planning on down the road. Yeah. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
I think we're here now.
Yeah. Well,
that's what we have the events committee and stuff like that. We got to have an event to need a stage to be able to do this.
So you think they allow us to put a big concrete permanent amphitheater down there?
The short answer is yes. I'll get to that. But
and I'm done. I'm done with my comment on that. Thank you.
I like what you're thinking outside the box, obviously, and I think there's advantage because you move this around and all that. Then go back to what Chris says. This is not going to put us on the map. Hey, Port Richey's got a mobile stage; they can move everywhere, right? But if you build something, if we do right, that it does do that. And I think for our needs, again, I don't know what the rental cost is, and if you want us to look into it, we can, by consensus, say we got a price on it. Let's see what the price is to rent one, so we have an idea, and can't keep this as an option, maybe for temporary. Maybe it's something we do this or something, so we can maybe have a mobile stage. I'm not necessarily against talking about it, but as to replace, to make it our go-to, I think that's not thinking big enough. But you're trying to solve a problem that you thought was there, and so that this one's probably
Stage
solve
is
that.
bigger than what they had at Guild Dogs, and they had
I agree. So
I mean, you can do a lot with these, and like I said, you can monetize it, and you can. I mean, we're not a big city. You don't have a huge budget, but you want to put a big stage on. You don't care what the price is. I mean, $700,000-800,000 for a big amphitheater that's a lot of money,
right?
And you can have 4 of these. I'm not saying you won't have 4 of these, but you could do a lot more with just this one even. And if you want to, if the city grows in 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you want to put an amphitheater over there if it suits for it. I just don't think we're ready for that right now.
Yeah,
I don't think it's in our budget right now.
And maybe not. As we have the conversations, I think this is a good option to keep in our back pocket. To maybe we can move forward in the interim if we find out that doesn't work. We don't. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, and if
we are ready to buy
we
it
can
today,
do an
I guess
amphitheater, we get the budget for that, and we can sell this for about what we paid for it. If you want to do that too,
right.
It's kind of hard to go. You can't sell an amphitheater; you can only tear it down.
Right. So, I mean, what are you looking for? I'll try to get that.
Well, just let Andy put the package together. They got accessories, like I said, extra stage. How many extra sets of stages do you want? If you want them, you want the screen on the back. There's a screen in the back. You want another light bar. That's what I was looking at. Maybe another light bar, maybe some extra floors, depending on what kind of play we have. And if we want to do that, then if you want Andy to do a work order on it, then we can do a work order on it.
Is there any objections to Andy doing that work? Look at that.
Just exploring the possibility.
Possibility, yeah,
Try
obviously.
to find some quotes.
It'll be years till we have a amphitheater anyway, so I mean,
Yeah, you
it
can
wouldn't
have
be a
this in
bad
a
idea
year.
to know what they are, even just to lease one.
Yeah.
I can find out. I can find out how much it is to lease one, but
Any objections? I mean, okay. So anything else, Bob? Bob?
Huh?
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Councilwoman Sullivan.
I just wanted to get a consensus on scheduling a workshop to discuss the appointment of a special magistrate. We went through that today. Veronica, Nancy, Andy, and I, and we're just ready to get it scheduled. So, special magistrate and the code enforcement or the nuisance abatement code. We went through all of that, so we're ready to schedule
So
it.
you want a workshop for it?
We need a workshop, and Veronica would like it as soon as possible because she really wants to implement some changes.
Yes, I agree with all that. We're,
Okay.
Yes.
4 of us are excited with the work that we talked about.
Do-
We're gonna bring it to you guys.
How much time to prepare for the workshop? Is there any, is it ready to go?
Staff's gonna have to put some stuff
Yeah,
together.
staff has to put some stuff together. Maybe
November?
2
November
weeks.
18th.
2 weeks. Give them
Well,
2
and
weeks.
if we want Andy to be back, I don't know.
Oh yeah. So
So November 18th.
Okay.
Let me look. November
Not yet.
18th is the off Tuesday. Yeah.
Is this something we're planning on starting this fiscal year? Because we didn't budget for a magistrate for that.
That's part of the conversation.
yeah, it would be.
There's some legal
it would be
fees,
in
obviously,
lieu
right.
of Pasco, and all of that will be figured out by then.
There
Like,
was
they'll
a-
have they'll have an
part of the
idea what those
conversation.
fees will be by then.
All part of the conversation. Want to make sure we're on the same page. See if my computer holds up.
Well, there was one other thing I wanted to ask for. I was talking to Andy about.
I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Once she's finished.
I was trying to find. Let me see if I can find calendar on here.
I just mentioned that date. That's hard.
The they're now having a council meeting on November 12th. Are we having a planning and zoning meeting on November 12th? Okay. I was gonna say,
I moved them over just as well.
I was gonna say I'm gonna be up here, so if we want to do it the 12th, if he's back.
Yeah.
But if planning and zoning's already meeting at 1, I don't know if that is too much in one day for your clerk and others. So whatever days
Council's 6, right?
to 12.
Council,
Any idea what time
6
frame?
p.m. Yes.
Need like 2 hours probably.
That's probably plenty, I would think, but I don't.
I would say 2
Planning,
hours.
zoning,
2 hours would be more than enough. I
Any
would
idea what they're
say.
going to be discussing?
3 to 5.
I don't know that yet, no.
I don't have anything at this point.
Anything big, so they probably, so if there's a one. Yeah, we probably, what do you think? You want to do it all? You want it too much?
I would prefer not to have that many meetings in one day. I know it's beneficial to have her here, but I mean, 3 is a lot in one day. I mean, we've essentially been in meetings since 1
Okay.
o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
It's a lot.
I'd say, yeah,
It's a very
since
long
we're
day.
doing it in November, even further out would be.
What about earlier on the 25th? During the day on the 25th?
Oh, before council?
Yeah.
How about that, Ashley? Is there anything else going on 25th?
no, there's nothing else on the.
It's kind of, it's a month out, though. Is that okay?
Is that what you can hear?
Well, 2 things. One, I want to apologize. I got a price on the 2024 trailer. That one there, the 2016, the one I was showing you, I was recommended is 116,000.
Okay.
7,200 to deliver it.
Okay. Are you good with the 25th?
Yeah.
I'm going to come back to you.
Well, yeah, I'm good.
Chris, 25th, good you?
We got
Before
the
council?
council meeting, so
work session.
Well, it'd be before the council.
yeah. So
On
what
what
time
day?
is it?
November 25th.
November 25th.
So I would say
Yes, that's good.
3 o'clock.
so what do you 3 to what? And then council at 6?
Yes, ma'am.
They give you a little time in between if you want, or we can just go right before, and if it goes 2 hours, we'll go right in the other one. We can't really we have to take a break before the 6.
Start at 3, work for 2 hours, take an hour break, and then go to 6.
And do 3, or we can maybe do 3:30 if you want to be a little closer. You guys tell me. I don't care.
I'm
I
all
don't
right with
care.
3. It doesn't matter.
3? 3, Lisa?
I'll have to check, but I think.
Okay. So 3 on the 25th for the Sullivan workshop.
For the what workshop?
Sullivan workshop. It's a
Sullivan
it's
workshop.
It's for the special
magistrate
magistrate
abatement.
and the nuisance abatement code changes.
He was kidding. Sullivan workshop.
I was trying to summarize.
What about the CRA grant? Do you want to save that for a different?
Yeah, and the CRA, yeah, we should do that all together, all three. So the CRA grant program too. By then we should have all that figured out. I think we're getting close. We just have to.
Can that be on the same workshop as normal?
You can
Yeah, as much as you want.
yeah, you can do as much as you want.
Okay.
The abatement.
You want to stick anything on
It's
there?
kind of part of the special magistrate,
Sure.
so they kind of go together. That's why we were suggesting to have them together. And if we get in and it's close to 5 and we aren't to TRA grant, we can always just punt that to the next one.
Right.
But at least it's on the books and not getting lost.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just kidding about the Sullivan workshop. I didn't realize
It's
something.
fine. It's fine.
Bob,
Yeah, so I was hoping everybody would be available on the 20th of November. I've got a developer realtor that sets up a lot of different hotels and condos. She's got a big project out 52 and Expressway. She's got a big project in Naples. And she's also contacted a world-class designer architect. He's got 2 television shows. He's done a lot of work on a couple other shows as well. He's very popular. He does a lot of really nice outdoor designs, as well as hotel executives and business leaders and property owners over on the waterfront would like to have a town hall on the 20th. You guys are available to see the different options that these people want to bring to this area.
well, so we have a town hall scheduled. December 2nd. We do it with the regular scheduled town hall?
December what?
Second?
It's quarterlies. It goes along with your other ones. So.
I think it's the 2nd. Or 6, yeah. Not Saturday. It must be the 4th.
I'm sorry. December 2nd.
Oh, it's on Tuesday. Okay.
I can't do that one.
I won't be here December 2nd.
I won't either.
You'll be here November 20th?
Yes.
I don't know.
6 o'clock or earlier?
I would say we cancel if we do cancel the town hall and make this town hall the town hall. We can do that, right? I mean, we said we just, since these guys aren't going to be here, we just change the date of it. If it's going to be that close, I mean,
Where's it going to be, Bob?
Here.
Right here?
Yeah, we can do it here.
Okay.
oh,
You don't need to tour the waterfront?
I thought you want to do one at the park.
No.
What time is it?
I got to
Well,
make sure.
no,
I might not.
no.
I might not.
They've looked at the park.
Okay.
They looked at the waterfront, and of course, the business people own businesses over there, and they know what's going on. But Andy and I showed them around.
Are they only available on the 20th?
Well, I don't know. I told them I had to get with you. They were wanting to do all these things. They could get with you, and I says, because I'm coming back on the 18th, so it was a Thursday, and I thought you guys might be available on the 20th. Is why I suggested. I said, let's see what my colleagues say. So, no, nothing's until you guys tell me it's etched in
20th?
stone.
So they don't own property, or they don't.
Some do, some don't. Some, I mean, like
They own property here in Port Richey.
Mike and Tim Lowe own Catches.
Oh,
And
they're part of that.
There's Crab. Yeah, well, there's Whiskey Joe's, and then there's Mark and Stacy on where the casino boat was, and Frank owns over there where the seaside was, and hopefully Ryan can come too. But I'd like to see if we can get a hold. I haven't got a hold of people at Hooters yet, but they're going to be a plus. Hotel executives, designer, the broker, and a lot of people showing interest in here. I said we need to get my colleagues up to speed before we go any farther.
What's our involvement in this? I guess.
Well, basically you guys can see what they have to offer, and the business people can ask them questions at the same time and see if there's something. I don't agree with everything they want to do, but it's not my decision because it's not my property. So you guys
It's not our property either.
I know that, but we can sit here and see how we can help people as a city, and we can be up to speed on what they might be wanting to do, and it may be something that.
So you're saying the people that already own the property are wanting to do the hotel, or somebody
And-
else is
And
coming in,
possible investors as well.
or somebody else is coming in and saying they want to do it. I guess
No,
I'm
it's-
confused what it is.
It's business owners that own property there now and own businesses there now would like to see what kind of options these people are bringing, and they may bring other people in here also, of course.
So when you say options, what I mean, we have zoning and we have these different things. What value are
Right.
we? I mean, what value do we have being there in that? I guess initial conversation.
Want to fill in, Andy?
I think it's really facilitation to have people meet each other and try to figure out what the potential buyers are down there. Like the realtor, you said that she doesn't have property down here, but she knows she sets up deals with hoteliers, hotel constructors. Right? So I think it's more facilitative meeting.
It sounds to me that these guys want to get together and have a conversation or whatever. That's good. I don't know where our involvement comes in yet until somebody engages the city. So that, I mean, all we'd be doing is kind of sitting there listening, I think. We can't really offer anything because
I thought the intent was just show we're development friendly, business friendly, and help him make
And we're
introductions.
willing to do
as long as it's
this,
all
or
legal.
is the city be willing to do that? Well, we're here to say yay or nay.
Well, we can't make those.
We can't do that. I mean,
Okay.
I mean, you
That's not the way it works. Yeah.
Okay.
some of that stuff that would come before you would probably be quasi-judicial decisions even, so you really can't do that. That
Okay.
would be part of my concern with doing a meeting like that. I think it's great to facilitate and, introduce the
Make the introductions.
but they need to, when they're ready to do something, they need to bring that project forward to the city as the council to make the decisions the council makes.
All right. Pasco Tourism wanted to be here too, as well as Paradise Marketing. They kind of set this up. They started the whole thing and said people were interested in the area, having us reach out to me, and I said, okay. Well, and then I met with Andy, and then we met with Donna and some other people, and she's told me about what she's doing and all this stuff's going on. And
Well,
you're like,
all the talking about doing it in the sunshine out of town hall with the cameras on and everything. So.
right.
Well, I guess the problem is we have zoning, we have all these different things. We have the additional density. If you have 5 acres, do PUD. We have all that's out there, public record that they can engage with the city if they want to do some project and go through that process. We can't all like, and maybe you're thinking this will come out of it. So we convene this town hall and they say, well, hey, we all think about this. I think it's a great idea, but that's all well and good, but that's not the forum that we can make those deals. So let's give you an example. Let's say I want to put 200-foot skyrise in, okay? And we all may say, yeah, I like that. We go about and try to do that. And there's a big process that goes for. We can't make that decision. We can't make any promises, and we can't convey that we're making any promises in that. So again, I don't know what value we would have there. Matter of fact, I think we would have potential risk
And
there.
we would limit conversations.
Maybe it's more appropriate a Chamber of Commerce event, but they don't have a good facility, so we could host it here. I mean, and make sure we're following all the sunshine rules.
It wouldn't be a sunshine issue unless your council was there acting and doing something.
Right. We don't have to be here.
If it is that you're okay with whomever these folks are coming here and using your facility, that's a different conversation. You would have the facility, introduce people, let them have that meeting. If you want council to be there, obviously then it becomes a sunshine issue. But if it's not involving council, they can meet wherever they find a spot. And I don't know if City Hall's ever offered out as a spot for meetings, but that's something you could consider.
And then
a physical location.
And then you also have that whole interaction there or whatever. Grant public would be notified they could come or whatever, but it's a little odd scenario. I don't know.
It's not the purpose of a town hall. A town hall is for folks to come talk to you guys and talk about city issues that may then prompt action later in a different council meeting. And this is a city property that you're trying to get the word out we're selling, and here's what we're selling it for, or anything like that. So I don't think a town hall is the appropriate spot for it.
Yeah.
But again, if City Hall can be used for the event, that's a conversation for those that run City Hall and the staff that would have to be here to make it possible. But that would be different from council, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Dutch, they have them get together and meet and talk about that stuff. And at the point that they decide to want to do something, then engage the city with that question. That'd be the time we talk about it. And then everybody knows the purpose of it, whatever. That's kind of my thought.
Instead of involving the elected officials, we could have staff. Like, I mean, this would be the first. This would be the first of its kind, maybe, but trying to show we're business friendly, development friendly, have an open house. Is that a better term? Where they could have the members of the staff here. Hey, how do you go about getting a building permit in this town? Oh, well, the office is right over there. And
if you want to go open house meet and greet or whatever, we can definitely do that.
I think. I mean,
if that's what you're looking for, that's something.
We hadn't talked in depth about it, but I think that's the sense, is just making sure they know we're open for business and where we are, and that we're interested in what they might want to do here. So I hope I characterized
That's why.
that right.
That's why I told them. I said, you know, I don't own property here, and it's not city property. It's private property, and everybody's individually owned. But you know, I wanted you guys to kind of see what's going on. But that's fine. They need to kind of figure it out themselves first, probably.
Or maybe one of the restaurants hosts get together.
Maybe catches they want to go over there and meet, or Whiskey Joe's or something.
And it wouldn't be inappropriate for me to come down, or Veronica. That'd be.
Or you could go down, or you could go. Eric could
It wouldn't be appropriate for all of us to go there. We just couldn't talk about things come forth in the city.
Which that would be kind of hard not to if they're going to talk about development.
Right. So
well, then you could have it here.
You don't go to a bowling alley, you're not going to bowl.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You could have it here then. I mean, whatever. But okay. Yeah. Anyway, Andy, that's you want to write this number down?
Sure.
It's Apex Stages.
Apex Stages.
Yeah, we're looking at the model 2016.
Model 2016.
Mhm.
And that's the footage. It's 25.
Yeah, that's the base footage. The number is 620-235-1712.
1712. Got it.
Yep. All right. Good luck with that.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Unfortunately, I do got a couple of things. It won't take very long.
You're still in old business.
Huh?
You're still in old business.
No, I thought we.
Remember, you started comment, but then we realized old business, so they did their.
Oh, I thought we just passed that.
Nope.
Okay. So you're done with old business. You're done with old business. Old business.
No, you were still in old business.
Okay, so I don't have any old business.
You know
So
what? I think our old business morphed to comments.
Yeah.
Because we all forgot that we're still in old. So it's kind of a blend at this point.
you don't hear my comments? I'm just kidding. Good night. No. You get to hear ours. That's all.
I think the trail is a great idea.
It's more, so maybe just ask.
Okay, so now so we're done with old business. So anything else, Bob, for mayor and city council comments?
Oh.
He said no.
He said no.
I said no.
Okay.
Move on.
So
You did your
I'm good.
comments.
okay. Nothing. Okay.
You sure?
I had one thing.
Okay.
Don't get me started. I already promised her I didn't know.
Okay. So I won't go into much detail, but I want to read this list so you have it. And so Lucia Cortez is our representative for Pasco and several other counties for FCT properties. Okay, and I found this particular thing on the site of Richey. Recreational facilities on Florida Community Trust sites. Below are the more common recreational facilities found on FCT sites throughout Florida. This list is not exhaustive. If you are considering facilities not listed or have any questions, please contact FCT. And the list is picnic pavilion, fishing pier, Frisbee golf course, wildlife observation tower, wildlife observation platform, geocache, permanent and multiple sites, trails, hiking, nature, biking, fitness, shared use, equestrian, canoe launch / pier, boat ramp / pier, campground, playground, climbing rocks, athletic fields, baseball, softball, soccer, football, multi-purpose, remote control airfield, skateboard park, volleyball court, tennis court, racquetball court, basketball court, rope course, splash park, swimming pool, swimming area, interactive music station, BMX bike rack or bike track, equestrian rink, amphitheater, dog park, port swing, shuffleboard / bocce ball court, and roller hockey court. So there's a lot of things in there that you could do.
About
We're
pickleball
not
court.
only regulated by the FCT though, we're regulated, that park is not only FCT, it is Southwest Florida Water Management District. So that sets the parameters of the 2 waterfront parcels there, and then the easement. There's a conservation easement, and then when we took money from the FCT, then we restricted what we could do with the remainder of the property. So there was a bunch of property there that had no restrictions within the Southwest Florida Management Water, whatever. It's a big long acronym. But then when we got the grant money, then we restricted it with the FCT so it has dual restrictions on it. We really, not only, we need a lawyer to actually look this over, because I mean, I've played with it for a long, long time. And I still I'm like, it's a lot. We might even need more than that. We might need some kind of we might need a meeting with the Southwest Florida and the FCT to pull all these, because it's not just in the documents. Then you have to go to the Pasco books, because it'll reference like book and page numbers. Once you start putting this all together and looking at there's an Exhibit B map. It's like one piece, another piece, and it just makes this very, very complicated mess if you can't do much. So before we get the public any more excited, we need to really, really take a look at it.
Yeah,
because it looks bad.
I know. I've been here for 40 years. I've seen a lot of projects get kicked out, and they're all set, and they say, "Oh, we can do that," and they go do it. No.
Okay. Well,
a lot of times.
Okay,
10 years ago, the city told the state to take the property back.
We should have a review on this that's in a binder, that's in an office somewhere under lock and key forever, so that we can always resort to it, because I think this has come up on numerous occasions.
Yep.
Our predecessors, and they get pretty far down the road with discussions, and then they figure out that it's very, very limited what can be done. So it's not just FCT.
No, there's a couple different people.
Yeah, you got to look at this piece, that piece, and I mean, I played with it. I really put it.
Okay, I'd like to see this piece, that piece, because FCT
but
is
it's not something I can explain right here, and I don't even feel qualified enough to even try to advise on it. I think you need an attorney and possibly all the documents pulled together, and the FCT and somebody. Yeah.
Point taken. Well,
because
is there any objections to Nancy getting to the bottom of? Because we need to know this answer.
Yeah,
what we can do, what we can't do, and so
I'm all for it.
Needs to be an official report.
Dig into this waterfront park. Okay.
Yeah.
On it.
All the expertise that you got over there.
You did. Gotta start reading. I have some of the documents.
The P&Z board met today, and they wanted some direction from council to talk about WOD. The conversation was about basically, they want to make sure that there's access around the perimeter of the waterfront, right? We don't have it now. Some of the new development stuff that's talked about there is one that, and the concern is that, it would go so far and it'd stop. And so they wanted to, look at setbacks and stuff, if what was there. And what I kind of surmise is that if we could maybe take up a boardwalk initiative, because I think there's properties there that go right up to it, and possibly we could look at, as we think about this boardwalk initiative going all the way around there, that maybe we could build out into the water past those properties, like where Hooters is right there. There's nothing to walk through, but maybe we could look at what we could do to complete that path and how we complete it. So that's one of the things that they're concerned about. And obviously, as the development might not happen, we kind of be nice to kind of talk about that boardwalk initiative. I think it's something everybody wants to see, is that access all around there. So if we can somehow
around where
the water front
behind the
you
restaurants,
got a marina there, you're not going to go through, but
that's part of it, right? So,
well, I was like Hooters would be like my stage 2 of the docks I was planning on next park. I'd like to do the same thing behind Hooters. Of course, a boardwalk all the way up around waterfront. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. and I don't want to talk about it
Can
now.
we add that to the special meeting on the 25th?
I think that meeting's probably full.
Yes.
I would do a different meeting.
No, it is. I don't. I just something to kind of keep in mind, and maybe all we need is for Andy to start thinking about what we need to do to make that a reality, and to work with existing property owners and what our options are as we have those conversations, so that we kind of have a plan of how we do that. So,
Councilman Hubbard's idea of a get together with those same people, that might be a good venue to talk about that.
well, so I will say that I've talked to, Catches, Whiskey Joe's. They would love to have that. It's more of execution, and we have to work with them on some of the things. And like, for instance, Catches, they actually have something they could maybe allow that to become a open pedestrian thing, whereas others don't.
The meet and greet we were discussing, it's a lot of the same players. So people that are prospective builders down here might buy property and build something there. We want them to be aware too that that's something we want them tied into.
Yeah, and some of the people wanted to Zoom, not, maybe a couple, some persons in Canada. So
This is more of a plan to put together in the Waterfront Overlay District Code that we.
I was gonna, if I may, and I think we talked, this was mentioned to P&Z, that it might be a good idea to talk to the planner and say this is the idea. We want the code to ensure that this boardwalk would be possible. Is that just setbacks? Do we need to have something more? And that way that can be brought to P&Z and you guys to have that ultimate conversation of how do we change the code to make the boardwalk a reality and not just relying on hopefully the business wanting to do it. So I think that's a conversation for maybe Andy to start with your planner.
Yep.
And report back. That would be my suggestion.
Any objections to that?
No.
Okay. Oh yeah, and so there was a concern about having some architectural committee, and we have the WOD, and we have in the WOD we have a theme, if you will, fishing village / Florida nautical theme or whatever in there, but there's no real teeth to it, and that would normally happen in a planning and zoning review, but not all. I mean, a PUD with 5 acres or more, those projects would come. So like the development with Burke, they're going to come to us with plans. We have some talk about that. But individual projects don't necessarily come through that process as long as they meet all the zoning requirements, whatever. So we probably need to look at adding something in there to make sure that has some teeth to it, and that any project that happens in the WOD would need to come to planning and zoning so that we could make sure that those themes are enforced.
Nancy said in that meeting she was going to look up St. John's past length and stuff. So when she brings that to us, we could probably either just review it and approve it, decline it with any special edits at that time, right?
Yeah, it's just a gap. I'm letting you guys know.
Well, you got land uses over there, and people look at that like a hotel or a resort wants to put something. Well,
this beyond
can't
land
do
use,
it.
that's all covered. It's the look. And we're asking in the code. We're asking for it.
They look at land use. They're going, I can't do it. I can't build nothing there, and they don't even talk.
So we need to take the look out and not have it a thing, or we need to put something in place to make sure that the look is adhered to. That's really conversation. Okay. Talk about that. Just a reminder, the car show is Saturday, the 18th. So if you can make that, I'll see you in public.
This Saturday?
This Saturday. From 10 to 3 at Walmart parking lot. I'll save that for last. The second to last one, I want just to get on the record. Bob, you had mentioned some stuff about hotels last meeting, that the information you provided, I thought it was incorrect at the time, but I didn't want to say anything without making sure. So I'll cover a couple things. So you'd mentioned about the hotels and the money-making thing on it. We share some 6%. So there is no sharing of the 6%. So what happens on the 6%, that's state sales tax. Penny for Pasco is on top of that 7%. And so of that 1% penny for Pasco, we would get, as well as everybody else, would get their share. Our share is 0.67%. So
it's shared.
But it's not shared 6%. It's shared, and could be just the way it was said.
Like 7% shared, whatever, yeah.
1%. You don't get
Well,
any
that's what we
6%.
get of it.
we get 0.67% of the 1%.
Okay.
Okay, so this we'll make sure that you understood that it's
Like-
0.67 of the extra percent.
I didn't break it down, but I
Right.
know what, yeah, I know
People
what it
can be
is.
confused. So it's like
Okay.
we're getting 3%, they're getting 3%.
No.
We get 0.67% of the 1%, and so is
All right.
everybody. So that was
But the 4% is all ours.
that's incorrect as well. So the 4% is actually not 4% anymore. Pasco upped it to 5%, and that goes all to the county. So we get none of that.
What?
Now, if it's in the city limits,
You get none of it. It's all goes to Pasco. Check it out. That
I did, and that's
Okay,
if it's in the city limits.
It doesn't matter if it's city limits. It's a Pasco bed tax, and it goes to the Pasco, and they use it. So I looked it up. So that's my understanding. So if you guys want to prove that wrong, I'd like to find out for sure, because the information I'm getting is we get none of that. So would love to, but we don't. The way it looks, and I don't think we get any now. So, and we do have some stuff going on that would charge that, but to look into that again.
Oh, well, yeah.
Last thing, most exciting thing, well, for some of us, the rum is done.
Nice, it's beautiful.
This is what looks like. Here's the thing, the tag on it with the number. So, there's been some changes to how it all works, and it's still fluid. It's all done. It's all packaged in the cases. It's 6 per case, and that has to go to a distributor. Distributor has to give it to a retail point, and that retail point catches it, is volunteered to do that for us. Okay, still got to work out the taxes and all that, or whatever. And so whatever's left over would obviously go to the charity. Yeah, that's right.
Did you say it was fluid?
It's fluid, yeah. No pun intended.
It's only bottle number one. Just crack it up.
So,
Deep in rum.
and so that's still being worked out. But so we're not going to have it for sale at the car show, but it's going to be catches local. So we can tell people to go there once they have it and they're ready to sell it. Then that happens. We still have the policy for the donations thing to be able to do that. That's in and of itself complicated, as everything is. And so the gist of that is we can select somebody, but we have to 2-prong tests. You have to show that it's
The legislative body, which would be you guys, have to make a finding of whoever the money's going to is providing a primary public purpose for the city, not just that the city's name's mentioned, and incidentally the city gets some good, PR or something on it. You have to show that there's a primary public purpose, and then you have to show that there's some kind of safeguards lined up that you are able to ensure, like through an audit or something, that the money's been used for what they have agreed to use it for.
Okay.
It'll be in the notice. It's not quite done yet.
So we'll have to do that. So obviously, once we decide on that, then we can get that money dispersed in charity. So obviously, we talked about the substance abuse / alcohol abuse charity that does that. You say it's too small of a bottle? What, a liter? Sorry. And so what I was thinking, to help that cause, we do have at least one. I don't know if anybody knows else. Maybe you guys know. We have PAR over here in Washington. It's a substance abuse thing. They're actually in the city, and so that would be a good. We could probably do that, and they could actually show that it goes towards city residents and help with that. So anyway, just think about it. We haven't decided tonight, but that's coming. But I wanted to let you know that this particular bottle here, where'd it go? Ashley not letting go of
hiding it over
it.
there.
So this is number 20. This is number 20. Yeah. So this is number 25.
She broke it open.
Do not open. So
It's time.
it's time. Yeah. So this is number 25. Remember, I said that in order to distribute this to the distributor, you can't do partial cases, and 100 made a case with only 4 in it, not 6. And so I did all the engraving on the tags. I bought the tags. I bought the twine and the machines to do all that. I got significant investment in that to make it a nice product or whatever. And so they sampled out 4 of the bottles to me to kind of compensate for that. And so I secured number 25 because 2025 is the year. And I'm going to donate this bottle to the city that we can keep in the case out there. So this is the city's bottle. So, and it's not to be drank.
No, if you have a bad day, you don't get to open the bottle.
So anyway, forthcoming, I wanted to share that with you. This is the city's bottle we put in a case.
Put the camera right out front facing that case.
What's that?
Comes up missing. I'll know.
Yeah.
In case of emergency, break glass.
And with that, he had one quick.
I just said, no, by the way, the fire department, God bless them, they're going to retrain the staff with CPR. And so if any of the elected officials would like to refresh your CPR class, there's an email going around with the dates, Tom. I know that.
Yeah, I can forward it on. I'll forward it to you, and then you can pass it on to council.
Is that going to be where?
Next week?
That's at the fire station.
At the
and
fire
here.
station.
Yeah, we're also doing it here.
Doing all the city employees here.
Yeah, the city employees here.
It's next week. We don't have dates yet. We don't have dates yet.
It's on my computer. I'm not the one who's.
You already shut it down. Sorry.
Just forward it out to us.
Yeah, I'll forward it up to you guys. You'll see the email. I don't want to speak for the guy that's doing the instructing of the class.
That I'm looking for a motion. I can't take it from you.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion second.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 All right, now y'all